Hello there. Come closer out of the dark and sit around my campfire, why not? My name is of no great importance, but the stories I have to tell you are. Witness 4 lost souls journeying together through a grim world of perilous adventure. Be warned, though, these stories are not for the faint-hearted, and once you have heard them, you cannot unheard them. Bear witness to the Vagabond Chronicles. Holy shit.
I've only been a proper knight for 5 minutes, and now we're all going to fall to our deaths. Wish I was back with the Skaven. Wish I was back in the nest.
It was the 3rd of Voltaxen. That day I'll never forget. Cause that was the day that my Skaven daddy died. Never got a chance to see him. Never heard nothing but bad things about him. Mama, I'm depending on you. And also, lastly but not leastly, because that's why we're all here, a huge hello to the Vagabonds. What's up, Vagabonds? How you doing, Vagabonds?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How you all doing, folks?
Yeah, pretty good.
Way too sober.
I'm actually I was pure alcohol yesterday, so I'm dealing with that this morning.
Are you pure hangover today?
I don't get hangovers. I'm very lucky.
What?
I don't. I get wiped out, like physically, like yeah. I just want to like cocoon myself in a duvet, but I don't get hangovers. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm a bimbo. It's because I'm not functioning on all like cerebral levels. That I'm a bit of an airhead sometimes, as you all know. I'm a bit like what? So like
Neil
I'm a
claims
himbo.
he doesn't get hangovers because he just doesn't have enough brain.
I don't have enough brain cells to get the hangover. It's like, oh, I feel tired. Why do I feel tired? And my voice is
Just
husky.
wall-to-wall compliments, isn't it?
Basically. So that's I'm okay. I'm just a bit like woo. So anyway, I've got coffee in hand and a rule book in the other because we are playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. We're going to go straight into the introductions for our vagabonds. Old people, you know exactly who we're dealing with. New people, let's do an introduction and go around. This is Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Just very quickly, it's similar to D&D if you don't know what it is, but it's not super high fantasy. It's high fantasy meets low fantasy. So it's very gritty, very dark. PCs can die way quicker in this game than they ever do in D&D, apart from low levels, I guess. And it's also quite dark and heavy. So it's almost got hints of like Cthulhu and all those dark machinations of chaos. But let's go around and meet our...
Although we make it silly.
You make it super silly, and I like that
Basically
too.
worked hard on making
You
the
have.
grittiest roleplay game very silly.
Very, very silly indeed. It is a grim world of perilous adventure. It's also a hysterical world of perilous adventure, as we'll find out on the first roll. So let's go around the room, around the table, and introduce everybody to the community again. Starting with initiative, and everything is out of 100, by the way, folks, so you'll see that later. But starting with the highest initiative, it is our elf, definitely not on the shelf. Blue Owl's Medic, who plays... Hello, Blue, and who do you play?
Dell. I'm playing a young wood elf rogue with her trusty war dog Fleck.
Cool.
And I semi-recently, I realized I think I've been playing with you guys for like a year.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're actually... You're definitely not a noob anymore. You're
not
like...
a noob anymore. I used to say that, I'm new to this group, but
no, you're not. No, it's been a year.
She's in it.
It's been a year and you're still in the cave.
Yeah, now we're in a
Feels
cave
like we've been
trying to get out.
You're still by the
in this waterfall for a year. Yes.
Cool. Next, thank you very much. So, and also we should. Oh no, we can get to that later. Thank you very much, Blue. Next up is our wizard, our hedge wizard. What was it? Ratty but Little Tatty, played by Tom DeVille. What's up, Tom? How you doing?
Oh, hello there. Yes, I play the group's hedge wizard, the magic user of the party.
Well, that's a stretch. User is a stretch. Let's put
Magic
that.
user. Elias P. Rattigan is his full name, but everyone calls him Ratty.
We think the P in the middle of his name. It's not sure, but we think the P stands for P. It's Elias P. Rattigan.
That's a competition. That's a competition for. Guess what the P stands for?
I'm pretty sure it stands for G.
All obscene answers will be clapped, will be applauded. So hedge wizards basically kind of figure out magic almost accidentally. Well, my one certainly does. Yeah. Although he's getting pretty good at it. He's got a few pretty nifty spells now.
But he's ventured accidentally into the dark realms a couple of times because you learn magic intuitively, but sometimes it goes wrong. And you learn things that you probably shouldn't be learning.
Including performing necromancy on a chicken so that now I have a half alive, half dead chicken for a hat.
That's right, with a beak attack at strength 2, by the way.
And I also have 2 magical ferrets called Noodle and Mr. Spidge who help out.
And one wears a top hat, the other one just wears like a baseball cap. That's how you differentiate them.
By the way, all of these... There's art of all of these at the Instagram, our Instagram, which is at Vagabond _Chronic I believe. So if you're new and you want to check out, we've got a brilliant fan art page on Instagram with loads of fan art of all the characters.
And if you also want to check out the other chapters, of which there have been 32, although the first 2 we did lose, there's a comic to replace that instead, head over to official Neil Newborn or Neil Newborn official, I forget my own YouTube, and all of them are up there apart from like the first 1 or 2, which I forgot to save. Sorry, Tom, carry on, mate.
That's a classic. I mean, it's like Doctor Who deleted episodes, basically. It's one of those things. They've gone to the winds of time. Yeah. Anyway, that's me. That's Ratty. Let's bring on our newest player.
Hello.
Clim Dodds.
What's up, Dodds?
What's up, Dodds? What's your character? Mind us of your character, Clim.
Right, I am everyone's favourite rat on a spit. Oh, hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Yes, it's me. Hello. Anyway, right, okay. No, I'm a Skaven who was kicked out of his clan for being too noble because he got a little bit brainwashed and then driven a little bit mad. He thinks he's a knight.
Yeah, he was guarding a Bretonian monk or a Bretonian paladin who basically warped his mind and gave him illusions of like religious grandeur and told him that he was trying to escape, but he convinced you that you were destined to become a knight of the lake or whatever the thing is.
Not the smartest tool in the box.
Not the smartest Skaven in the clan. You helped him escape. Well, helped him sort of, nobly. And then you were caught. And although they didn't quite manage to get the blame on you, they still exiled you and they tarred and feathered you. Or tarred and furred you, I guess.
Oh, deferred me.
Deferred you. Tarred and deferred you. And they took your tail off as well, didn't they, sir?
Yes. I'm a sorry half creature, a half beast man who vaguely passes for human, but a really, really, really ugly one.
Yeah, but you were definitely not the most handsome Skaven in the first place. So.
But as I mentioned earlier, he's also completely insane, and he does believe that the elf is a reincarnation of the goddess. So he's a little bit. Lake, yeah. That's a little bit fawning, a little bit sort of oh, you're wonderful.
Fawning, interesting choice, Clim. Fawning, I would say obsessive, but fawning, yeah, if you want polite company, that's useful.
You always want to make it more, don't you?
I didn't realise we had a creepy stalker in the party.
I don't think he's creepy, he's just obsessive. Isn't that different? Maybe not, actually. Maybe it is creepy.
Sad creature.
He also has no personal space, because being a Skaven, they're happiest when they're clustered up together against other warm bodies. So he has a bit of an issue with personal space, as we found out last time. Cool. Well, thank you very much for your introductions, folks. Let's straight into where we were last time. So just a quick recap for new people. We were in the place called the Frugal Valley, which is between the Empire over here, just north of the Forest of Lauren, north of Pavaron, in fact, as well in the Grey Mountains. They were on the run for. You have to watch the other episodes, man. It's a lot to go through. But basically, they were hired to go through the Frugal Valley to find these burial mounds by a man called Jean-Claude, who is the head of the monk at La Maison Tal, which is a Talarite sanctuary in this valley. They went through the valley, they discovered skeletons, they made alliances with dwarves.
A lot of skeletons.
A lot of fucking skeletons, basically a skeleton army. The Talon of Frugalhofen, which was bombed to oblivion, they escaped with the survivors of various attacks through the valley. In these things called escargots. Most of the people survived to the waterfall edge. Our wayward heroes actually went over the waterfall and were miraculously saved in a net that was hidden in the waterfall by Clim, who's been hanging out here for some weeks, trying to escape the undead army and also escape detection generally. They have befriended Clim, although slightly warily. They discovered he was a Skaven. They tried to exit into the rocks of the waterfall, which were surrounded by birds. And Bondo, who is the
undead birds.
Oh, sorry, undead birds. And Bondo,
scary birds, not just like pigeons.
Yeah, they're not like fucking budgerigars. They're like, fucking undead.
Just to make that clear to the audience.
Undead budgerigars.
We didn't get scared by a bunch of pigeons.
Bunch of fucking undead pigeons, man. They want our seeds. They want our seeds. So anyway, you disturbed them, and actually Bondo created a distraction because he was leading the villagers down a mountain path,
and that was pretty much cut in two. The party of villagers and stuff were cut in two. You saw two bodies fly in the air in this cloud of crows, undead crows. You don't know what happened to Bondo. And Bondo has disappeared from the story, in fact. If you want to find out what happened to Bondo, check a couple of episodes ago, because there was a farewell to Bondo, which is very tearful, but pretty awesome as well. We did some cool new shit in that. And yes, he has Jim has left our party, taking a break as he's had a new child, which is awesome. So he's being a good daddy and just focusing on that. So we have our vagabonds. Last we saw them, they fended off an attack from beetles. They found a whole bunch of magical items from this crew chaotica, and this sort of crypt that these seeming heroes or mercenaries were buried in many hundreds of years ago, and each of them had a particular weapon or an item which our heroes have picked up to help, and luckily they did, because they had to fend off about 20 odd beetles. They were attacked by the mama beetle, the queen beetle, who destroyed the upper cavern, this upper area here, and they dropped down back into the beetle lair. The beetles talk like beetles, but with our friend Clem, his sword allows him to speak to insects, so he can understand them and talk to them. And for whatever reason, the beetles will have faux Scouser, Liverpudlian accents. Budum-dum. And if you're very clever, folks, you might have noticed a little mini gag that the beetles that were crushed underneath the falling, rolling rocks.
Oh, he's going to...
What? What? I think it was funny. What?
Go
I
on.
mean, we made them fucking Scousers. You got to commit the whole way, haven't you, Tom?
Go on, explain the bad
So
joke.
the Rolling Stones crushed the Beatles to death. Take from that what you will. So I don't know if you're a music
Doesn't
fan.
make sense, because
I'm not really a fan of the Beatles, Tom.
The Beatles.
I'm not a huge fan of the Beatles. I like the Rolling Stones. That's my
The
little...
Beatles just quit. They gave up. The Rolling Stones didn't crush them to death.
But maybe they should have, man. Maybe that would have been a cooler way for them to have disbanded. I'm just saying. In
A 4-on-4 fight. Haven't it?
alternate
Yeah.
what if universe, the Rolling Stones death matched the Beatles and won. Keith Richards was a maniac in the alternate universe. That's how you solve the speech.
I mean, we've got our version of Bowie in the war.
We've got Wavy Davy. Yeah. Our first.
Yeah, we've got Wavy Davy.
Our first pan or I haven't worked out his sexuality yet. He's either pan or gay, and I can't work it out. But he's our
pan.
first.
He's pan.
Is he pan? Yeah, I guess he's pan. It's our first pansexual character.
He's pan, but at the moment he's in a gay relationship, isn't he?
He's in relationship with Dr. Dasher.
An absolute beast.
Yeah, Dr. Dasher is gay, actually. I'm going to make that canon. So Dr. Dasher is gay. But
I did
Wavy
well
Davy's
with
pan. But I just thought it was really cool and supportive that we have characters. Why not? Why shouldn't we have representation?
I mean, if you're dating a were-rabbit, which is what
we're going into a lot of backstory here, folks. You might
that
want to watch
must
some
be
of the episodes.
sorry, I know.
Yeah, Dr. Dasher is a gay were-rabbit and an amazing medical doctor and quite a tough nut as well. And he and Wavy Davy, who's this beautiful bard, fell in love and rescued each other from in this situation, which is really nice.
Anyway,
but check it out.
Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on. So let's move on.
We're basically stuck it behind a waterfall in some caves with a lot of beetles and some bad birds, nasty birds above us.
You know, for a writer, Tom, for a film writer, and for a successful film writer, Tom, that was pretty unpoetic. But hey, who am I complaining? Let's move forward.
This is Dr. Doolittle murder porn, basically. This is horrible. We're gonna.
So here are our heroes facing off the Queen Bug, who speaks to the Scout Strength. The last thing pretty sure the last thing that I came up with, which was really terrible role playing, was, "Hey, you're all really fucked now." Which the only person that could hear that, of course, was Clem. Everybody else just says like that.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. So we are straight into combat. Let's go around the room.
I want to apologise to anyone who's listening from Liverpool who maybe
This is
thinking
not a Scouser accent, it's a Warhammer accent.
that, and also the insinuation that if you're a Liverpudlian, you're a beetle.
You're a giant beetle at Square.
You're a giant beetle.
Fucking
Sorry.
monstrous beetle.
I think that's an important thing, Tom, and it needed to be said.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom, who's also now our lawyer for the show. So Angela Merkel, we haven't pissed off her for a while. Let's go back to German accents in a minute. Okay, so we're back in the room. This is a larger cavern. It's about a good 40-50 yards across. In the centre is a big pile of bones and stuff. And in the middle, bizarrely, there's a lamp. and it's a golden lamp which is refracting a little bit of light that God rays are coming through over here and over there through the cracks in the walls, and it's just sitting on top of this bone, literally on top of it, just like that. And what it does is it refracts a lot of light around. So all of you have night vision to some degree, but the room is actually really beautiful. Like if there wasn't a giant fucking murderous beetle about to take you down, this would be a very beautiful place to rest or stop for a while. In the corner over here, there is a kind of like a water hole, which is quite large, like twice the size of a well perhaps, which is just filled with water that overflows, like natural spring. And there's other areas around here that you haven't seen, but basically just filled with beetle crap and some dead beetles now as well. And the bodies of the dead beetles are sort of scattered around you as well. And this mama beetle, this queen beetle, has scuttled down forwards, and you can still see the acidic ichor dripping down from these kind of two, what is it, Probius? I can't remember.
Proboscis.
Yeah, that's it. That are basically have shot this out. That's at the front of her mouth, next to this terrifying.
That means she's got two noses.
Yeah, basically. Don't judge. so this, and you can still see the acidic ichor dripping down every time it hits the ground. You hear this sort of sizzle, and you sort of see smoke coming out of stone, which is very disconcerting. She has these two massive, like, kind of beetle clippers either side, kind of like a scarab a little bit, but on pincers. And she also is covered in very thick shell. That you know that the little beetles were tough little fuckers to kill. This thing is like 10 times the size of a normal beetle, and fucking terrifying. Cool, we're getting straight into initiative, of which the Vagabond's initiative is over here. It's a percentile game, folks, so everything's out of 100 with bonuses and with skills and blah blah blah. It kind of is like in like a D20. Imagine that a D20 is just a D100. So Dell's first with 69, baby. Siggy, who's not around at the moment. Then we have Clim at 59. We have a second attack by Dell. Ratty's 36, and I think pretty sure it's Klim's second attack. Bondo's out the game, obviously, so those two things don't count. And the critical hit of the season, I guess, is Quint with 19 points of damage in one hit, just FYI. Cool, let's get back straight into it. So, Dell, this thing has just been roaring towards you like that, and just like throwing its pincers out and has done this very big display. You have landed awkwardly. I'm pretty sure nobody took any damage from the fall. Or did we do that? Did we do damage from the fall? Question.
Unnecessary. I think
is it? Is it unnecessary?
You're so obsessed with fall damage
because it's the only thing that can kill a PC. You can have a PC with 100 stats and 10 and the only thing that can kill it easily is falling damage. It's the most dangerous way to die in this thing.
I know.
More dangerous than a drunk.
I know this because I've fallen down small holes before and nearly died.
Yeah, okay. All right, for narrative purposes, let's say all of you, I might break the dog's legs. For narrative purposes.
Jeez, if you do, I wouldn't blame all our listeners for just switching off immediately.
Wow.
I'm not going to do that. So you all like land and you sort of like ride the rocks down. And you get a lot of cuts and bruises and bashed around, but fundamentally you're kind of okay somehow. Including the dog, because otherwise Blue will never forgive me. And you sort of land, and now you're sort of scattered in these positions with all the rocks around you, so you're in like rough terrain. And this thing's just roared towards you. Dell, it is your go. It is straight into combat. This thing is about to launch into an attack. What do you want to do?
Because I want to try this new quiver and arrows, so I
Okay.
some distance.
Yep.
And I just for everybody to know, I was unable to open the tabletop thing, so these guys know to roll for me. I can't roll for myself.
The last words a character ever uttered. These guys can roll for me. It's gonna be fine.
Anybody but Neil can roll for me.
That's the spirit. All right.
Want me to take the first one, Del?
Who's gonna roll for you then? And what's your stat?
Me and Clem should take it in turns.
All right.
I'll go first.
Okay. So what's your ballistic skill, please, Blue?
It is 47.
Okay, so you need to get 47. This is obviously a tens. This is a unit, folks. Do you have... I'm going to say there's nothing else that can give you an advantage right now to shoot. This is a large target, actually. So you do get plus 10 to your roll because it is.
Can I ask? Do I see like? Because you said like she's covered in like hard. Like, is there? Like, can I go for the eye?
You can actually. You can
or
try.
A soft bit.
You can try. You can do it. Do you have sharpshooter? Do you have marksmanship?
It's a skill, yeah.
It's a skill.
I don't.
You don't. No, because you can't target something.
Okay.
But it is a skill that you should definitely try and learn somehow. And you can teach yourself marksmanship, but basically what it does is you can nominate body parts or eyeballs or something, and it's a way of you actually be able to blind people and do all kinds of really fun stuff. It's something you can teach yourself through practice. So like later on, you can start putting bottles far away.
So if it's roaring at us, can I go just try to get inside of its mouth, or is that too?
If you want to climb inside its mouth, I will allow that.
No, I mean shoot. If it's roaring at us.
Sure, of course, yeah. So
I imagine it's pretty big.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Where's your dice down here, sir?
Yeah, they are.
So 98 critical failure. The first roll of the game. Welcome back to the Vagabonds, everybody.
I actually do not believe it.
Statistically speaking, this is impossible.
I have literally, I just want to say this because it's kind of getting to me. I have never had, in the last 8 rolls I have done have been a failure or critical failure.
I have a conspiracy theory that these dice are weighted.
It's a fucking computer
serious.
program, man.
I don't like these dice. Can we put them in the dice jail?
So as you're deliberating the bizarre nature of dice rolls in a computer simulated tabletop, just to let you know, folks, like a 0, 1, and a natural 20 on D&D, in Warhammer you have critical successes and failures. 0, 1, 0, 5 is a success no matter what the odds. 96 to 100 is a massive critical failure, the stuff of nightmares. And sometimes people die because of it or get very badly injured.
I'm going to get this in the back of the head, aren't I?
Well, this is the thing. No, luckily nobody is in front of you. Otherwise, definitely you'd be hitting one of your comrades. But we have to work something out now because it's going to be quite tricky to work out. So
not shoot. Like I just don't hit it.
No, this is a critical failure, and my law that I created says that I have to commit to this. So let's commit. All right. So you sort of notch the arrow. And you go poing and you fire, and because you're like still like groggy from the drop because you didn't take any damage, but you got knocked around, and you're also freaked out. I'm going to give you automatic fear. So the critical failure, you're completely terrified. This thing just roars at you, and you go into complete failure. So it means you can't shoot. I think this is a nice way of doing critical failure because usually I try and kill you. So I think that's fair enough. So
it could have been like your bow
snaps, which I also just thought about 2 seconds ago, but that wouldn't be very helpful. So you start shaking, you drop the arrow to the floor, and you're completely struck by fear now. What it means is you can't attack it. You can defend yourself, you can move away from it, but you can't go, if you want to go near it or if you want to try and attack it, you have to first get out of fear, which is another cool test once per round. So you're now in fear, Blue. Okay? Your character's terrified of this thing. In fact, maybe I should give you terror. Seems a bit much. Because that's an insanity point. All right, so let's give you fear. You're in fear.
What is the difference between fear and terror?
Terror, you're catatonic, and you get an automatic insanity point, and you literally have to be snapped out of it. And you have to make a cool test every round to snap out of it, but people can shake you and slap you around the face, but you can't do anything. Even if you're being attacked, you do nothing. It's complete. You're totally frozen. So fight or flight. Whereas fear gives you flight as opposed to fight. Do you know what I mean? So that's the 2 stages. Terror is awful. But this thing I think invokes fear. I think that's fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. So you're freaked out, Blue. All you can do is run away or try and get out of fear next round, okay? But you can defend yourself, though. I'll allow that. Next up is Clim. You see the lady completely freak out, and she screams, actually. And she drops the arrow that she's notching, and her hands are shaking, and her body's like sort of like going rigid, and she started scrabbling backwards a few feet just to literally get away from this thing. What do you want to do, sir? It's your round.
Right, okay, just getting into character here.
Yep.
Never fear, my lady, I will save you. I know, I barrel myself forward.
Clem dies, re-roll character. Okay, so you charge.
He's a knight. There's only a couple of things he can do, really, and he's got to do the noble thing.
Yeah, man, fair enough.
Right. Ready for another critical failure?
Yeah, let's do it, Ben. So you're charging, which gives you +10 to your roll. That's a charge attack. Your little tiny paw legs. Yep.
And away we go.
That's a critical success. Holy shit. Okay.
Wow.
I'm just a yin-yang, aren't I?
You're just like you're just all or nothing, baby. So you've gone from a critical failure, and so this is your heroic. You sort of like do this leap in the air, and you like do a combat roll unnecessarily, screaming out, "I'll save you, lady." Charge towards it. And you've now got double damage on your attack. So whatever damage roll you do, you can double it.
Such things of legends, right?
Now, this thing is about like 15 feet tall. So you're not going to be able to like go for its head. You could try and like scrabble up it, I guess, on your next attack if you want to do one of those things. But right now you can sort of going for one of its legs or its claw, one of its pincer claws and things. So roll a d6 for damage.
Okay, right, that's the one off to the left.
Okay, so we go.
Fuck it up,
Oh,
Dodgy.
that was close. All right, so that's 3. What is your bow? Well, sorry, what's your strength?
My strength is 2.
That's 5 points of damage plus any skills like strike, mighty blow, and the
Oh, I've
weapon.
got a strike, mighty blow. Yes.
That's 5, 6, and then add.
I've got what is it? There might be a bonus on the sword as well.
There is. There's damage +1, so it's a magical sword. So you get a +1 damage. That's 7 points of damage. That's now doubled to 14 points of damage.
Not too shoddy.
Not too shabby at all. So you take so basically, tell me how you attack this thing. You haven't killed it by any means, but you've definitely done a good chunk of damage on the first hit.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So I leap to the defense of the lady and angle my sword in along the carapace of its upper leg and shove it straight into the soft body of its central thorax.
Cool. So you do this, and it's got like several. Obviously, it's got like 6 legs. I think it is, or 4. No, 4 legs. So you sort of take one of the side legs that you're facing over here. You sort of rush this side and go rah, and you jab your sword in, and it screams back. And so you rip the sword out straight away, and you see all this green ichor, like green blood, so splatting on the floor. And this thing has taken quite a severe amount of damage from that. It's definitely still alive, and it's now. However, it is going to do a cool test to see if it's going to frenzy, because you've enraged it. So its cool is terrible. So this is probably automatic. Yeah. Okay. So it's now in a state of frenzy. It starts like thrashing around and becomes, if possible, even more aggressive. So it's now enraged. What frenzy means is it doesn't back away from combat. It's +1 damage and -1. -1 to any hits it takes for frenzy. That's a frenzy skill, which most animals have. So that's +1 and -1. Cool. You have done a fair amount of damage to it then. Okay, doke. Next up is Ratigun. Ratty, you sort of like dust yourself off, like scrabble up to your feet. There's lots of dead beetles everywhere. Mabel's alright. The ferrets squeak that they're okay. You see Fleck the war dog is instantly taking like a guard position next to Del. What do you want to do, sir?
Well, right then. I sort of like dust myself off and sort of coughing and spluttering.
Yeah.
Sort of straighten up, and I'm going to pull this awesome new spear that I discovered. It's more like a javelin.
It's like a javelin, yeah.
Sort of as I stand up, I sort of pull it from inside my robes, and sort of like.
Is that a spear in your robes, or are you just pleased to see me?
I'm just basically like, right then, let's give this a go. So I'm going to try it. Did I try it last time? Actually, I can't remember. I think maybe I did. I can't remember.
I actually don't know if you have tried it yet or not. I'm not sure.
Right, I'm going to give it a go.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to hoik it at the Queen Beetle.
Okay, cool. So this is a ballistic skill roll, but you use your strength because you're chucking it yourself. So it's your strength. You get a +1 damage. It is a magical javelin we established, I think. So
yeah.
+1 to the attack for damage.
So what am I rolling?
Your ballistic skill, which is what's your
34.
34 out of 100, which is like kind of like an average human. Okay, nothing special. Right?
Yeah.
So okay, 34 are under. There's no bonuses to this at all. That's a 59. That's a miss. So you basically you throw your javelin and it goes. It's a good hit. It just isn't strong enough, and it bounces. It sort of like ricochets.
No. I want to miss. I've got an idea.
Okay, can I tell you what happens to it?
Okay.
All right. So you throw it, and it bounces off the armor and just like skims and just like drops behind the creature, just over there.
Okay.
So it's like bam. So it just sort of like rattles and just goes and thuds.
Just sort of go tink,
tink like that. Yeah, tink.
Okay.
And just thuds behind.
All right.
Yeah. All right, cool. That is your go. Now it is the beetle's turn. Whoops. All right, so this thing has just been attacked. By the way, folks, combat rounds are 6 seconds. Everything kind of happens more or less simultaneously. So people could attack each other simultaneously, kind of. The person with the initiative has a slight upper hand. So you have to think about it in like an abstract way that 6 seconds, all this stuff is happening simultaneously. So as it's been attacked and as this spear's bouncing off its armor, it's now sort of jabbing down towards Clim.
It's going to be me, yeah.
Yeah, completely. So this thing now turns. It's got its mouth, which is like a bite. It's got several attacks it can do.
Wow.
Several, not 7. Sorry, several attacks. And I'm trying to kill you, but not, I want to make it entertaining.
Yeah, of course.
So this thing sort of immediately turns its mouth, this huge like beak, like a scarab beetle almost, and it just goes like straight down at Clim. Clim, wait a second, I'm just going to do this. Let's see what the roll is. Probably going to be shit. Let's find out. That is a miss. So you managed to easily duck out the way of this thing. It then immediately follows up with a claw attack. And it also misses that. You manage to kind of you duck the bite attack, and then you sort of combat roll to the side, not much further than where you are, but you sort of like combat roll this way, like that over to here, and you miss both attacks, and it's sort of like slightly turned towards you, so its damaged leg is on this side of its body over here, and you're now sort of facing off, pretty much facing directly towards you. You notice that there's sort of ichor in its sort of like those little tubes coming out of its mouth. They're not building up anything, but you can also hear this kind of like noise coming from within them. Like it's,
dearie me.
The beetle equivalent of hocking up a loogie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Acid loogie.
Acid loogie. So yeah. Cool. Okay, it's a new round. How many attacks did I do on you? Oh no, it's got 1 attack left. Yeah, it's got 3 attacks actually. I forgot that. So I've just done 2. So yeah, as it comes there, it sort of stabs out at one of its legs. In fact, the leg that you damaged it sort of flicks out at you. That is a critical failure. It does so. It actually does something, and it stabs out at you, and you sort of manage to parry it with your shield, and it actually snaps a little bit of the leg. Not much to cripple it, but it definitely damages the leg, and it takes another point of automatic damage. You see, like its shell, the armor gets ripped off because it smashes down on a rock near you, and it breaks away a piece of the armor on the leg. So it takes another point of damage, and you hear it go, "Oh fucking hell! It's not my day, is it?" Which of course the rest of the party hears like that.
Just that.
Yeah, that's what you hear. Yeah, but Clim hears, "Oh, it's not my fucking day, is it?" Yeah. Okay, new round.
I think we're beyond conversation. Is it possible to get my second attack, Neil?
Oh, you have 2 attacks. Yes, it's your second attack now, and you're going to get +10 as advantage because it's critical.
It's going to be really embarrassing for the rest of us if Quint fucks it up by himself.
It's going to be fucking cool, man. But yeah,
Quint
embarrassing.
Takes out the queen all by himself.
31 is a hit, I believe.
Yes.
Whilst the old OG players kind of just crumble and just
Hang on. Let's do
basically
that
wet
properly.
themselves.
There we are.
That's a 4. So your strength is 2, plus strike mighty blow 3, plus the sword 4. So that's 8 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Where is it to? So it's a 13. So this is actually attacking its like beak, its head area. So you sort of swipe as it comes down for like a bite attack. Again, you sort of swipe at it and you catch it across the face. It actually does. It doesn't do much. You sort of rake it across the face, across where you think its face is, the more.
Right.
And you draw a little bit. You draw like a line which breaks a little bit of the skin. It gets even more angry about it. But it does. It's like a glancing blow. So you've done a little bit of damage to it, but not much. But in that one round, you've done something like 16 points of damage to this thing. So that's pretty fucking good going.
Not bad for a rat.
Not bad for a rat. Yeah. In fact, you can say that out loud. But you're actually
not bad for a rat.
Yeah. Have we actually covered your backstory? Did you mention it Have you mentioned it out loud to?
We haven't really had a lot of time, have we?
Have you mentioned like when I was in this thing back in the day? You haven't said that out loud to the players, have you?
No.
Right, well, let's keep that under our hats. I'm pretty sure you and I have talked about it openly on the mic.
Yeah.
You never know. All right, that's cool. So yeah, actually, I should say that Blue, both you and so Del and Ratty see this rat man in action, and actually you haven't really seen his martial prowess. This thing can fight. This thing can really knows how to fight, and it's literally taking this giant fucking beetle on alone, and it's doing really well. So that's kind of really weirdly disconcerting. Well, not that's pretty amazing, but also any misgivings you have about it. I don't know how you feel in terms of trust, but this thing is fucking dangerous. Just FYI. Yeah.
Well, the queen.
No, not just the queen. Quint. Quint is a very capable fighter. You'd argue he's as good, if not better, than Ziggy. This thing can really fight, and it's nimble as fuck. So
You stop calling him this thing. It's a little bit racist.
it's a little Skaven-ist, isn't it?
Yeah.
That can fight.
Speciesist.
It's a little speciesist. Yeah, well, Skaven usually are fuckers, so fair enough. But this particular nice Skaven can really fight, which is good right now, but maybe down the line might be a bit.
Right now, we really need that.
Yeah, we really need it right now. Yeah.
I'm happy.
So new combat round, Del. It is your go. So Blue, you're up.
I get out of a terror.
It's fear, yeah. So you have to roll your cool. I'm going to give you +10 because you're all winning the battle, as it were. So +10 to your cool. You have to roll
that's 79.
79. This is a good roll. So who is rolling for it? May I suggest Tom?
Yes, please.
Because Tom hasn't had a critical anything yet.
I can't be trusted.
Watch me roll another critical failure.
Yay, Tom.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Ah, boo.
I rolled a pass.
You rolled a pass. Boo. All right, so you sort of, as you see this Clim like launch saying, "I'll save you, my lady," or whatever, and the dog is also next to you and sort of nudging you and like growling at this beetle trying to protect you. You sort of manage to calm yourself down and realize that you're okay. Like you know the group is winning. You're with your comrades in arms. You're not safe, but at the same time you're not alone. And all those kind of insecurities you may have had about being ostracized and all kind of stuff from your community, that this you found. It kind of feels like you found your family. Do you know what I mean? Like you found this kind of dysfunctional family, and they've really bolstered you in this fight, and you're back in action. So I'm going to say you can do an action. Actually, I'm going to be very generous. You can do an action. So you come out of fear, and you can make an action. Yeah.
I also think my confidence as Del is like I feel like Del doesn't have any confidence right now. Okay, I want to use my new awesome quiver and draw another arrow and fire into any sort of spongy area.
So
maybe
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you carry on.
No.
Oh, I was going to just say that when you pull the arrow out of the quiver, you sort of hear this shing like that from the head of the arrow, and this is one of like your old arrows that you put into the new quiver, and it's sort of like it seems to be vibrating at the end. It's bizarre. Like you don't know if maybe it's got. It seems like each quiver, because the quiver is not like an open quiver. It's got specific like areas for the arrows to drop into. It's big enough to accommodate. I know, big. It's just quite a large quiver. So when you drop them in, each arrow's got its place. But when you bring it out, it feels like there's like iron or steel or something in these tubes that hold the sort of arrows. And it just goes shing as you enter, and it sort of vibrates a little bit. It doesn't stop you from notching. It doesn't seem to affect your aim, but the head is almost vibrating independently. It's very strange. Just FYI. Magic.
Okay. All right. My ballistics is 47.
Tom, if you'd like to, because I've done quite badly so far.
Critical.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I thought we were taking this in turn. All right, I'll do this one.
Okay, I'll do the next one. Yeah.
Law of
I know how
averages, folks.
stressful it is. It's okay.
59. That is a hit because your ballistic skill is pretty high. I'm going to say what is your ballistic skill actually?
It's 47.
Oh,
so
that's
it's
a
not
miss.
a hit.
Even with your back, okay, so you miss. Okay, so you fire this arrow off. Roll a d100 very quickly. 50-50 chance of the arrow breaking. But the arrow sort of, again, it glances. You're aiming for its face, but you're not really that kind of like marksman yet. And you fire, and at the last second, it turns towards Clim, and it just bounces off its very, very tough armor, and it glances off into the darkness, like over here. Roll a d100, somebody, for Blue to see if
Clim.
the arrow can
Roll for your fate, my dude.
Yeah.
This is just straight 50-50.
I want it to
die.
pierce his skull. I'm kidding. I'm fully kidding.
So 51, okay, it does break. So you sort of snaps on impact against the chitinous armor of this beetle. So just take another arrow off. You can't reclaim it, basically. Okay, no, so Tom, it is your... Oh, no, actually, Blue, do you want to do anything with your dog?
No, we didn't do the second attack last time, but I wouldn't have done anything. I don't want him in this fight. I just tell him to heal.
Are you sure?
You know what? Yeah, I'm sure.
Right. Are you sure I can't change your mind to throw your dog into perilous danger?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Weird. All right, cool. So your dog
Rattle
is growling.
fix it.
Yeah. So you become very protective mama bear, and you just a mama dog bear thing, and you just say like, "Yo," like this going. Rrr. He really wants to join the battle. Like it's super exciting. It's basically bred for battle. So the fact that you're denying it is like it's a tough one.
Well, then the next go around he'll be even more ready to attack, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I like that. Winding up the battle dog.
Winding him up.
Okay, cool.
Let's give it a slap. You know?
Slap it on the ass. Go, my
Tail.
Hi ho. Okay, cool. So Tom, it's your go. Are you wearing? Did you get gloves with the spear, or is that my imagination? Did they give you some funky gloves?
I think there were gloves.
There were gloves, weren't there? Yeah. So the glove, it's actually one glove. It's your spear throwing hand glove, and it's sort of like fingerless. And you sort of, as you're sort of going for another weapon, like you're drawing your quarterstaff or something, and you notice this weird tingling sensation in your right palm. Are you right-handed or left-handed? We never established that.
I believe.
Are you left-handed? I think you're left, aren't you?
I'm ambidextrous.
You are ambidextrous. Do you actually have ambidexterity as a skill?
Yes, I have that as a skill. Yeah.
So you can choose which hand is your throwing hand. It doesn't make a difference, left or right. So
I'm going to go because my staff I keep normally in my right hand.
So your throwing arm
my
is
left
left.
hand is my throwing hand.
So the glove fits on your left hand, and it starts tingling. You'll get this weird tingling sensation in your palm, and it's getting stronger as well. It's like a kind of like vibrating, humming sensation in your palm, and not the usual type that you usually get. You know.
Okay. I'm gonna. So.
It's also getting stronger. You move your hand around a little bit, and it seems to be getting stronger in a particular direction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Radar glove. Oh, no, I like it. All right, so I'm going to try something then. So I'm going to hold out my hand.
You hold out your hand. It suddenly gets a lot.
Can I see the spear? Can I hold out the hand towards the spear?
Yeah, and actually, when you line up your hand to the spear, the vibration in your glove gets super strong, almost like like that, almost like a washing machine.
Okay, so with my brain, with my mind beams, I'm going to try and call the. Because I'm a bit of an idiot.
Yeah.
I have to do it very literally. So I sort of yell, "Come back to me, spear!"
You bastard.
Please don't use Gary. Don't use Gary.
Yeah, you should really talk to Gary for this kind of maneuver, mate. Do you want to talk
Do
you want to talk to your brain?
I mean, let's do that. Let's try and activate Gary.
Okay, so folks,
I should have a skill called Activate Gary.
You do. I'm going to give you it now. Like Gary meditation or Zen Gary. We'll work it out what the title
Zen
is.
Gary.
Well, actually, anybody in the chat that wants to give us a title for how he summons his brain power.
I genuinely love the idea of your dad doing Zen meditation.
I know, right? So very quickly for those who are new, so Tom's character is very mystical and weird. He has this birthmark on his ass somewhere we think is now related to a god. And he's special. There's a lot of special magical properties about him. But he's also like an idiot savant. So he's brilliant in many ways and stupid as a plank of wood in many others. So much so that he has a very difficult relationship with his brain. His brain that he talks to is called Gary. And Gary the brain is the only way that he can make the leap of really abstract, complicated, logical decisions because he's just not clever enough to do that by himself. Gary's voice is based on my dad. As Pete used to tell me, this isn't therapy, it's a roleplay game. So let's activate Gary. So what happens is that time just goes, and and like the Matrix slows everything down. So you see like Dell reaching in slow motion for another arrow. The dog is like pouring at the ground. Klim is doing this kind of like shaking his booty in as a victory, kind of like goading attack against the beetle or something. There's miasma in the air, like, floating around, dust piles, and everything just stops. And suddenly, like, white light just goes and fades out everything that you can see, Tom. And you just hear this, hello? Oh, hello? Remind me your name again.
Is that you?
It's a bit disembodied voice from the white clouds. Yeah, it's me. Is that you?
Gary.
Yeah.
Do
Oh,
you remember
that's me. Hello, I'm Gary.
It's been a while. All right, mate.
It's Ratty, isn't it? I'm your brain, aren't I?
Yeah, you
Been a
sit
while.
in my head.
You haven't seemed to need me recently for quite some time. I hope things are going
I've not
their
been
usual
doing
standards.
much thinking, Gary.
That's probably good. Probably very wise. Great. Carry on, Commander. Very good.
So, Gary,
Yeah.
there's something I was going to ask you about.
All right. Be quick.
Why do penguins live in cold places?
I don't know. I'm not a penguin. I can't really. I mean, having empathy with a penguin is quite hard, really, when you're a brain. And I'm
There
an
is,
old
there is
corporal.
one other thing, mate. I should
It's
remember
all
one
right.
other thing.
Listen, can we wrap this up? Because that's a daft question, and I don't think you want to be telling people you ask your brain these questions because they might laugh at you.
I'm not embarrassed at all, Gary.
You should be, but that's okay.
Listen, Gary,
Yes.
right?
Still here.
Can you see that spear over there?
What spear? Oh, that spear. Yeah, that's not yours. You should leave that. That's
Well,
not your
have you
spear.
also noticed?
Did you steal
my
it? Have you paid
tingling-
for it? Have you paid for that
Have you
spear?
noticed? Oh, I found it, mate. I just found it.
Oh, all right. Nudge, nudge. You found it. All right, love it.
Finders
Great.
keepers in
Yeah,
the
fair
great
enough.
world of perilous adventure that we're in.
All right. Yeah, great. Yeah.
Anyway, so I noticed that my glove is tingling.
Well,
and
listen.
vibrating.
Listen. I can't listen. This is an awkward conversation. If you're talking about glove tingling things, is it your night hand that's tingling? I'm a bit
Is it
uncomfortable
my
to talk
what
about
hand?
that. I'm a bit uncomfortable with this conversation. I'm not really prepared for this. You should
Gary,
give me a
you're-
warning. If you want to have one of those, we're having that conversation. I need a bit of prep time because I'm not really, I feel a bit weird about it.
You are part of me, mate. We're
well-
all in this together.
Sort of. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I mean, all right. So So when a man is lonely and loves himself, sometimes he takes solace in his hand. This is what the conversation's about, right? That's where we're going.
I'm just trying to get that spear over here to come back to
Right.
my tingling
Okay.
glove.
You're talking about. You want to grab the spear. Oh, right. Okay. This is not a metaphor. It's a literal spear.
It's. I'm not talking about the spear in my trousers.
Right.
no.
Oh, all right. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. I'll come in. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Okay. No. It's all right. I'm listening.
I'm not talking about my groin.
The Freudian spear. No, it's all right. Okay. So it's a literal spear. Good. Better,
It's
actually.
over there. I'm trying to. I think I can maybe get it to come over here. Is
Oh,
that possible, Gary?
all right.
Can you send out some mind beams?
I guess so. What's in it for me?
I won't ask any more stupid questions about penguins.
That's great. That's a steal of a deal. That's brilliant. That is. That's great. I'll take. Yeah. Sold.
Right, let's give it a go then.
All
Come
right.
on then.
You go first.
All right, I'm just going to make a stupid sound effect, Gary, and see if you can make it happen.
All right. Are you still a wizard, by the way? Can't you just do wizardy things?
Well, this thing is meant to, I think this thing is magical. It's meant to just happen, mate.
Oh,
I
this
just
will be
wanted you to
exciting.
help.
Yeah. Go on. Go ahead.
Anyway, let's give it a go. Right, you ready?
Yeah. Ready. Go on.
So I point
Good lad.
my tingly glove hand
Sure.
at the spear,
Yeah.
and
Gary, you
Using
sort
Gary.
of feel Gary kind of does like the astral equivalent of reaching out. Yeah.
yeah, this is your dad standing next to me, just also
Naked
Jedi
from the
mind.
waist up.
Oh gosh, with a shade, looking like a Shaolin monk.
And
as
he's
well.
doing that thing, when people like try to like people and they wanted to help them with bowling technique. He's doing that. He's like really close to you, and I'm really close to you right now, Ratty. I'm gonna like the bowling thing, right? I'm just gonna help you like do this. And he's like really close to you. You feel him all over your back. just like helping you guide this hand.
Oh, you're making this weird now. Next time I see
You're going to get so weird around your dad.
next time I meet your dad, there's going to be issues.
You won't be able to make eye contact with him. It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, your friend's Tom's a bit weird, isn't he? He didn't look me in the eye once. He mumbled something, then fucked off. What's wrong with? Is he all right? Yeah, Dad. Long story. Okay, so.
And I'll just suddenly burst out. I just want you to cradle me like you did when you were teaching me how to bring spears back.
So, oh my God, so much to unpack from this conversation. All right, so you reach out your hand. Gary is with you. You are strong with the Gary, and the Gary is strong with you. And you reach out your hand, and you sort of feel like the tendrils of willpower, like reaching out to it, and it just sort of starts rattling, and then without even any warning, it just goes and flicks straight back to your open palm like this. And you just grasp. You don't even have to like. All you have to do is close your hand. Like you're not even like trying to catch it. It comes towards your hand, and you put your hand around it, and it's back in your palm, which is pretty fucking awesome, dude. So you have essentially Yondu's spear. You've got like one of those.
Nice.
It's a spear of returning, basically.
But what I'm hoping is, does it fly back and sort of conveniently
skewer the enemy? No, it does not, sir. No, it finds the path.
It doesn't fly through the beetle.
No, it not at the moment. It basically will find the path of least resistance. This is a game mechanic thing, so Ratty doesn't know that yet. But whatever the path of least resistance is, whether it's through something, if it has to go through something, it will. But it's basically path of least resistance is how it works. So if there's open air next to it, it'll swerve around the creature to come back to your hand, as opposed to going in a direct line. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Pretty cool.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
That's an action. That is an action, sir.
So I can't throw it again this round.
No, you can't. No, that's like a reloading action. That's that's what you can do in one round. Cool. Alrighty. So that's everybody's go. Have you had your second attack yet?
Gary.
Clim, have you had your attack?
I'm not entirely sure I had my first one.
No, you haven't. We sort of skipped you a little bit. Okay, so you're still in Mortal Kombat with this enormous fuck off thing.
Yep.
It's your go though, sir, before it gets to attack. And you got 2 attacks, both of which you can take before. 28 is a hit. Very good, man. You're really kicking ass, sir. All right. That wasn't a roll.
It is just going to be Quinn.
6. That's a critical hit.
Oh my God.
So when you get a 6 on a 6 d6 for melee combat, you can roll your weapon skill again to see if you do additional damage. So roll your weapon skill again. That is a failure. So you just get the 6. You don't get any bonuses beyond that. But that's still a hit. So that's 6 plus 2 your strength plus strike mighty blow 1. Plus the sword.
Plus the sword.
So that is essentially 4 points. That's 10 points of damage you've done to this thing. Tell me how you attack it. You definitely haven't killed it, but you're definitely gaining ground on this thing. So give us a little run through narrative, like wushu, cool, like fucking martial prowess stuff of what your next attack is like on this thing.
Okay, well it's come down with its it tried to bite me, so I slashed that back. It then came down with an awful lot of its front feelers to try and basically take me apart. So I sidestep, duck under one of them, and on the other side, I drill the sword into the under the carapace on the other side into the abdomen to try and take it out on that side as well.
You ran power slid through its legs and came up the other side. Nice. I really like that. Okay, cool. So yeah, you do that and you sort of slice down. That was 10 points of damage, right? So it's, okay, so yeah, you do another thing, and this thing is definitely bloodied. Like you've definitely taken a lot of it's taken a lot of damage. The way that wounds work, folks, if you're not understanding this, like health points, it doesn't necessarily it's not a literal thing sometimes. Sometimes like Indiana Jones he has 10 hit points or whatever, 10 wounds. It doesn't mean he's going to start bleeding after 3 or 4 wounds. It just means that he's getting roughed up, or he's having near misses or lucky escapes, and eventually like your luck runs out, and that's when he takes severe damage, like a hand being chopped off. So this thing's definitely being bloodied and battered, and you cut it a few times. But in terms of substantial, like killing blow damage, we're not there yet. But you're doing great. Right. You're also winning combat, so you can get plus 10 to your next roll, because you're definitely winning against this monstrous thing. Okay, that is its first attack, and then it's your second attack, Clem. So it sort of it can't turn fast. Instead, it sort of slams out behind itself with its legs, trying to pierce you on one of its like chitinous plated legs. So let's just do this and see what happens. So let's roll, and that is a hit. That's a hit. Let's see how much damage we do. Ooh, so close. Alright, that is the thing. That is 9 points of damage. Wait, hang on a second. No, sorry, that's not right. 5, 7, 8. Yeah, that is right. That's 9 points of damage.
Okay.
And that is going for your. What was it? The hit. That's going to be on your leg. Yeah,
okay, I do have a shield which can take it down to 8.
That's
but
8
other
damage.
than that,
Yeah. Do you have any other armor?
no, kind of rags. That takes me down to 0 wounds. So
wow.
somebody else better start hitting this thing.
Clem, you got to do stuff like subtract your toughness.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can also parry. You can also.
That's a good point.
So this is how this
Yeah,
works,
using
folks.
your second round, using your second attack, you can parry.
Yeah. So let's talk
I
this through
think I
for
might
anybody.
have to do that.
So anybody who doesn't understand the rules, because we haven't really described the rules. When you're hit, you have strength and toughness. Strength is to attack, toughness to defend. Then you have your wounds, your hit points. So you take your toughness for any attack that hits you, unless the rules say otherwise. So this is a strength. This is 10 damage. You minus off your toughness, which is what? What is your toughness right now?
No, it was 9 damage, dude.
9 damage. Sorry, 9 damage minus the shield, which is 1 point of armor, which comes to 8. And how much toughness do you have, Clem?
I only have a toughness of, let's have a look, 1.
Oh, fuck.
Really? You have a toughness of 1.
I'm a Skaven, man.
Oh, that's right, you're Skaven. I keep forgetting you're actually a fucking Skaven. Great, so that's actually... so did I say great? Did I say great? I mean, whoops. So you have 7 points of damage done to you. You can parry, as Tom said. So you can use your second attack this round to try and take off D6 damage from the damage you're actually going to get. But you'll lose that attack this round. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So
I
you can try and parry.
I'm just looking for my parry skill. I'm not entirely sure I've got one. I've got a dodge blow, however.
It's something that everybody can do. Everybody
You don't
can
need
parry.
a skill, dude. You can just do it.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
just do
cool.
it. Everybody can parry a blow. But parry skill or parry weapon actually helps just gives you bonuses. So this is a straight weapon skill roll to parry. And if you're successful, you minus another D6, which can really help you right now.
Right, just get my dice together.
Just get my dice together.
Get my dad together.
Oh, yeah.
That is that a success or a failure, sir?
That 52.
Yep.
My current profile for weapon skill is 51.
Yeah, I mean, no, so sad for you. Boo. All right, so that is 7 points of damage, sir, that you take.
I got
you
spanked
got
there.
You got spanked.
Have you got luck skill by any chance?
No, the only other thing I do have is dodge blow, but I don't think you can use that in a parry in the same round.
You could use that instead of, but that would still fail, I think, right? You could have used that
very
instead.
much so, yes.
Yeah, that's fine. So you can't. So just FYI, you can use dodge blow every single round. You should go to that first before you parry.
Right.
Dodge blow is way better because you actually ignore all of the damage done to you. You should like cartwheel out the way or something. All right.
Yeah, considering you're a speedy rat man, that makes a lot more sense. Also,
it makes
now
way more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so you don't dodge out the way. You try to parry it instead on your shield, and actually this thing just back kicks you, and it punches you back into the air, and you land on like over here. You sort of roll up to your knees, so you're not like completely you're on the ground prone, but you're definitely like got flew through the air and got the wind smacked out of you, and you've taken a hell of a hit. And this thing's now like, and it's turning around to face you. And actually, it's turning around to face your party, and you can also hear this from its mouth, and you sort of see these like pouches that are just coming out over here on either side of its maw, of its mandible. These kind of skin-like pouches suddenly start getting bigger, and they start popping out the side of its face. They're getting bigger, like with each second. It's just like like that, and it's now turned to face the rest of the party.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Right. So it is you're out of combat. Everything's out of combat now. So it's not moving anywhere. It's holding its ground for some reason, and it's not attacking Clim again. It's pointing at you and just seems to be hoiking whatever it is into its face. So it's a new combat round. Blue, we're back.
Lady, wizard, burn!
Yeah, definitely. He noticed.
Definitely burn. Yeah.
No shit, Sherlock.
Okay, so it's like okay. I would like to step away from the giant pouches of acid, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
in its direction.
Let the wizard take the hit.
It'll be fine.
He's probably got a spell to deal with that, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right, I sweep along the other side of. Well, do I want to join Clem? I can.
Or again,
keep trying to
let the Skaven take the melee damage.
No, okay. I wanna like try to do. I know like flanking isn't a thing, but I want to go on the other side.
You can flank it in a way. I like flanking. I think flanking is fair. Yeah, that's cool.
I would move to my right then with flag.
So this is like the big well pool, like a natural well pool, which has got water, which is presumably there's water coming into it and going out somewhere. So you're in this direction, like towards the well pool, and the well pool is actually raised. It's like a tiny mini crater. That's like this.
I want to be like right next to it, but yeah, in that more general direction.
Sure, okay.
I can't. Yeah.
Do you say anything to Ratty as you dive off this?
Yeah, I'm gonna point to the pouches if he's not paying attention.
What are you gonna say?
I think she's about to blow.
She's about to blow. Okay. So Tom's like gets snapped out of his reverie because he's just caught the spear and seems to be in one of those. Sometimes he really just phases out, and you don't know why. But occasionally you
don't know where he goes.
You don't know where he goes, but occasionally he just says things like, "Right, you are, Gary," like that. And you have no idea what he's talking about. And he's sort of done one of those moments. This spear though is zipped back to his hand, so clearly he's got a spell for that, which is pretty awesome. He's actually, you're pretty impressed by Ratty sometimes. But he's sort of snapped out of it, and let's see what happens when he does. Your movement is very fast. You can get up to the crater in one round, and the dog's going to follow you, obviously.
Yeah, the dog has a faster speed than I do. So.
Yeah. So the dog sort of like is actually over here now, is sort of like slightly in front of you in guard position. It always takes a guard position unless you tell it otherwise. Just FYI. Okay, that is your go. You doing anything else? Or just trying to race to get to flank the creature?
Can I mean, is that my action?
That's your action, but you get a free action.
Okay, yeah.
And you've already taken the free action.
Again, just tell him to heal.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But can I use him as my second attack?
You can, yes.
Okay.
I'll allow that, yeah.
So, I imagine from the last round, I denied him the ability, so I imagine he's quite, like, ferocious wanting to.
He's pretty ferocious. He's eager. You ain't going to get any bonuses to that.
Okay.
But he can have a charge bonus. He can definitely have a charge bonus to attack.
Yeah, do I see like in our line of sight? Is there like an open wound he can just go for?
There is actually on this side of the creature. One of its front legs is broken. The armor has sort of been ripped off it, and it's bleeding a little bit from this leg. He's got 4 legs. So it's like this, and then there's like the mandibles are here. The little sort of like spray things where the acid comes out are here, and he's also got like a claw here and another claw over here like that, kind of like a weird scarab thing. But this leg here particularly is fucked, and that's the one that Clem was whittling away at.
I want him to fetch it for me and bring it back.
It's like when you see one of those dogs that has half a tree in its mouth. Like,
exactly. Just like,
like 20 feet of tree in their mouth, and they're living their best doggy life, and they're like, nobody will ever believe me when I get back. Nobody's ever going to believe this. All right, so it's a straight weapon skill roll for Fleck, and you get plus 10 for a charge. So what is Fleck's weapon skill?
That would be 51.
51, so that's 61 to attack successfully, to be able to bite and bite down. So who's going to roll that for you? I can do that.
Okay, Neil, you roll it for me.
Because it's a dog. All right, let's see critical. Come on, big money, big money. Oh, so close! Man, big money. Okay, snake eyes. All right, that's a 10. That's 15.
Oh my god.
That was so close, man. So that's 15. That's a strike. What is the strength of your doggo?
3.
Okay, so that's 3 plus 3, that's 6 points of damage. It bites into the leg. Actually, the armor's come off it, yeah. So it does bite down, and it rips off a good chunk of the flesh. And the thing screeches, but you sort of notice as it sort of dives back. Are you asking it to dive back? Yeah, you're asking it to come back to you, right?
Yeah, I want him to fetch it. Bring me the leg of the beetle.
So you rip this, it rips it off with its big chomp like that. But it's also like the damage part, so it doesn't really like do much more damage to the creature. But the creature's super pissed off about it, and it does screech in pain. But you haven't like damaged it much further than it's already damaged. He's just now got a mouthful of beetle meat, and he's now them's good eatings, by the way. He's now racing back towards you, the beetle meat in its mouth, looking super happy with itself. Cool, that's your go. Clim, I believe it's your go, sir.
I'm assuming I'm getting up.
You're kind of, you hit the deck and rolled up into a fighting crouch because you're really super well trained. So even if you got knocked back, you definitely wouldn't be lying on the floor, allowing yourself to be prone. So you're not standing racing, but you're definitely not like completely defenseless. Yeah.
Roughly how far do you think I could get behind it and also close for an attack?
You could charge it, but now that if you're going behind its legs, and it does have 3 attacks, it's going to be able to do an attack of opportunity on you. You're just way too close, and it won't be not doing anything. You could probably get a hit in, but it would still have its hit this round, even if you killed it. So there would still be a hit on you, because that's fair.
That's one hell of a risk, but he is a knight, and okay. You don't get the good victories without the big rolls.
You don't, man. So are you going to try and like outmaneuver it and go around behind it and attack it from behind? Is that your plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we have any advantage to us flanking?
I'm going to give you, if he can successfully flank, and you can you flanked for range, that's fine. But if he successfully flanks, I'll give him a bonus. Yeah. One thing, Clim, in the center here is a big pile of bones, and it goes up about a good 10 feet. And the back of this thing, like the bottom part of it, is about 10 feet. You could probably jump, if you wanted to, you could jump on its back. I'm just saying.
That sounds like a very noble and a very knightly thing to do, Neil. So I think we'll give that a try.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you're going to go for it, go the whole way for it.
Plays.
You got to ride a fucking beetle, baby!
One thing, if this goes catastrophically wrong, can I play the dog? Because he has better stats than I do.
Clim, if this goes catastrophically wrong, it will go down in the annals of the top 10 best vagabond moments when that guy Clim tried to ride a beetle and got eaten. It was great.
It's going to be fucking glorious.
It's gonna be fucking glorious. All right, so you race towards this pile, and do you have anything like acrobatics or anything like that? Like gymnastics and stuff. It should be acrobatics.
I
or scale
do
sheer
not.
surface.
I have street fighting.
Scale sheer surface at all?
Yes, I do.
So that's going to allow you to really nimbly, like scoot, because this is all bones and rags and items and crap on this pile of bones. So you'll because you're Skaven, because you're sure-footed, you can literally go all the way up here and then turn and leap onto this thing. What's your movement actually? Actually, what is your movement?
Movement of 3.
Right, you're not going to be able to do that, but you can get to the top of this pile and turn and launch yourself onto its back next go.
Okay.
But as you do that, the beetle is going to have an attack of opportunity. By the way, folks, anybody that's a purist Warhammer roleplay, you're in the wrong place, man, because I'm fast and loose with the rules to serve our purposes to make a better story. So just FYI, if anybody's complaining, that's why this isn't working out. All right, this thing actually does try to launch its back leg at you again, but because you sort of worked out how it moves, you managed to sidestep away from the leg and continue your trajectory running up the mountain, little mini mountain of bones and stuff, and you reach the top here and are ready to leap the next into your next turn. And this thing hasn't turned; it's still building up its like noises. Cool. Okay, it is now the giant beetle's go. Actually, Tom, have we given you your go? I feel like we've missed you.
No.
Right, it's your go. It's your go first, Tom. Yeah.
So
That was lucky.
the beetle facing me, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Its mouth sacs are enormous now, like ready to burst almost. One would say.
Okay, so I am going to.
I'm gonna draw a picture of its mouth sacs and its happy face.
I'm going to, instead of diving out of the way, I step towards it,
Yeah.
and as I do that, I undo the sash on my bathrobe. Just to explain to new listeners, Ratty stole, from the very first inn he ever visited, he found the free bathrobes that you get in inns and thought it looked like a wizard robe, so he stole it and uses it.
It was a fancy robe, which is what all wizards wear.
He thinks that he stole it, but actually it would have been free.
It's like a Holiday Inn. It's like a Holiday Inn purple robe and green robe.
Yeah,
like that, right?
That's it. So I undo the sash because it's literally a bathrobe. So I undo the sash on it.
Hello.
And
Hello.
I fling open the wings of the robe wide.
Yeah.
And
Oh my god, I remember the spell now. You're doing a spell.
Yeah, and
All
at
right.
that moment, I pull a little thread from the sleeve of one of the sleeves.
Yeah.
And I yell, "Oh, I'm flashing you, you bastard!"
I thought,
And-
I like it. I thought you were going to go with, have a look at this, you bastards.
Well, it could be that one as well. That's an alternate line.
All right, cool.
And a bright light shines forth from inside. A bright flash of light bursts out from me. Yeah, exactly like that.
Cool. Nice.
The only issue is I've forgotten how many magic points this cost.
Did you write it down your character sheet? I've asked you
2.
multiple times.
I thought I had, but I haven't,
That's
and I
okay.
don't.
All right. I'm going
I
to roll.
was going through a bad period when that happened. Sorry, Neil.
That's all right. I'm going to say that. How many magic points do you have left?
I've got 4.
I'm going to say it's reasonably powerful. It's like a first level spell, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
it is.
let's say it's 3 points of magic. I think that's fair. It's quite a powerful
Okay.
spell. So that's 3 points of magic. Do you remember how it works? Because this is a spell that we created. It's called, what is it called? Like Flash and Dash or something like that?
Oh yeah, Flash and Dash was the name
I
of
think
it.
it's Flash and Dash, right? Yeah.
It's basically a blinding flash of light, right?
Yeah, it's basically blinding like flashlight.
I guess it causes some kind of confusion, or
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm going to say it gives. Well, we have to make up the rules again because you incessantly refuse to write down the rules of the things.
Really
I give
sorry.
You.
I don't.
No,
I
no,
actually
it's
don't
good,
know what I was thinking.
It's fine, man. So I'm going to roll. We're going to create it now, and this will be interesting for our audience because you get to see us actually do this.
Writing down now, Flash and Dash.
Flash and Dash, yeah. So we're going to roll a D3. All right, so where's a D3, folks? I can do this in front of you, it's fine. So D3. So if on a failed initiative roll, let's say, for D3 rounds, the character is blinded by this flash, by a brilliant flash. So it's the equivalent of like 6 to 18 seconds. And what it does, it doesn't make them prone, but it gives them a massive minus to their weapon skill and ballistic skill for attacking and defending. So it's like minus 40 to weapon skill and ballistic skill for D3 rounds. And then it snaps out of it. Initiative, it will have a minus 20 on it, let's say, because that would be fairer. So it's a useful spell in combat. So that's how it works. It's 3 magic points and a thread from your thing. All right, cool. So I'm going to make a really shit initiative test for this enormous hulking monster. I'm so looking forward to melting you, Tom. But hey, creative roleplay there, sir. Okay, this thing basically it's just like lumbering towards you, and you flash and dash this thing, and it catches it straight into its eyes, and it just roars back and starts shaking its head and starts like stomping around its bad leg, and it's really confused and it's roaring like. And actually, Clem, you hear from this giant beetle. Oh, me eyes, that rotten human. Oh, where's my sunglasses? Oh, have you seen my sunglasses? Oh, they're all dead, aren't they? Oh, fuck. That's what it says, yeah. It doesn't say sunglasses, cool. It says the beetle equivalent of sunglasses. I don't know what that is, so go wild.
Beetles have that as a concept.
They have the concept of it, they just don't have them. Because they've got no opposable thumbs, Tom. Very difficult for industry, you know? So
the tragedy.
So I'm going to say that you're protected by the giant beetle, so you didn't see the flash and dash. This has a 20-yard radius in a cone. It's a 40. Let's say it's like this. That is the cone because that's how you would open your robe. Or do you open it 180? Is it like a full flash? What are we talking about here, Tom? Talk us through it, mate. Is it like this, or is it like more like a 45 angle? You know?
I would imagine. Well, it's from like the wings of my robe, right? So it's sort of. It's a kind of 45-degree blast that comes out.
So it's not a total exposure. It's just like a little bit of a how's your father? All right, cool.
Cool. You're trying to figure out what actually the beetle is seeing.
No, I'm trying to see what the arc. Well, that too. Actually,
I think we all know what the beetle's seeing.
Yeah, this is it. The beetle.
He's trying to work out the angle of.
Oh my god, the beetle also has this dangerous knowledge of knowing whether you wear underwear or not. Holy shit.
It must die.
Must die. It's dead now. That's it. Game over. No. Obviously, you wear trousers. It's fine. So
I mean, I would take it as it'd be quite offensive if the beetle just fell over dead.
All right. So this beetle is now like blinded. It's going to be blinded for several rounds. Let's just roll a dice secretly to tell you how much that's going to happen. Blue, actually, Del, you sort of see this flash. You know what you don't know this spell, but you're not really affected by it. It's just very, very bright light. But you count yourself lucky you weren't standing right in the direction looking at Ratty when he did this spell. Again, pretty impressive, pretty cool spell. I don't think you've ever seen this before, so it's pretty amazing. And you see the effect it's had on this like giant fucking beetle, which is great. Yeah, so that's that. It is now its go, and you've spoiled the fun, Tom. I was going to blast you to oblivion. So I'm going to still try and hit you. Its thing is now roaring. It's now roaring around, and it just starts screeching and screaming, and it sort of stumbles where it thinks towards you, and we'll find out if it's actually heading towards you or not. And its mandible, the little sacs on its face, just squeeze really tightly, kind of like glutes in a squat, and just like and push all this liquid. Yes! Yes! Check it the fuck out. Look at that. That's a critical hit, baby.
Oh, no.
That's a critical hit. Oh, my God, yes. Now, listen, I had a -40 to ballistic skill, which meant I had only a critical hit could actually make this roll. Holy fucking shit, folks. I'm sorry.
These dice are loaded.
Tom, I'm sorry. Sorry, that was really unprofessional of me, Tom. What I meant to say is, oh, apparently the beetle hits you. So
it hit me.
Yeah, it's hitting you with the acid spray. It's launching the acid spray. It's basically just coating this entire area with acid, and it's just throwing it out. And it does actually hit you. Now there are things you can do, so don't worry. You're not necessarily dead straight away. But it actually has made a critical hit. The only way it could actually spray and potentially catch you, and it's just covering this area.
I want to see this roll. Where was the roll?
You can see it on twitch.tv/Neil Newbold.
It is real. It is real.
It's totally real.
It would be shown in glorious slow motion. Viewing pleasure.
I'll even print an Instagram picture of me with thumbs up going, holy shit, dude.
I'm framing that one.
Please do. Please, yeah, post it on Instagram.
I will put it on both of this. There, I'm going to screenshot. 12. Okay, so this is... Okay, you are going to take D3 hits. One hit, lucky thing. And this is a strength 3 with D8 damage, and it's acid. So it's going to burn you. You're going to be burning, essentially. D8. So that's a D8. So it's 3. That's 8 points of damage. And
what?
8 points of damage minus your toughness and armor.
Hang on.
What?
Are you just rolling top figures on everything?
No, that wasn't a top figure because it's a D8 damage. It's like a fireball spell. So it's not D6, it's D8.
So you've not rolled the D8 yet?
I have rolled the D8. It's 5 plus the strength of 3 of the attack. It's a strength 3 attack plus 5, so it's 8 damage.
Okay.
Have you got a dodge or anything, Tom?
You can dodge to half the damage. A successful dodge you can half, so you get a little bit of splattering as opposed to taking the hit on the chest.
I'm just looking at my skills. Do I need a skill for that?
No, everybody gets it. It's initiative based. You can just try and like literally leap out the way instinctively, so you don't need the skill for that. No. So it's a D100.
Okay, let's do this.
I can't believe I made that fucking roll. That was fucking boss. I was even thinking about it. If I get a 0.5, it's gonna be fucking glorious. Bam.
I'm disgusted.
It's brilliant. Sam Neill is so happy. He can taste the fate point.
You're not disgusted.
He can taste the fate point in the air.
All right, I'm rolling to dodge. What do I have to roll under?
Under initiative. 99! That's a critical failure!
Dude.
Oh my god. Dude. Oh my god. What do I do with that?
What did you do? Drink it!
Dude.
Oh wow. I don't know what to do with this. I guess it's double damage. So let's say you can take all your armor.
That will kill me, Neil. So
take off your armor and your toughness, and then double the result of that. So no, that's unfair. That's really unfair.
That would kill me.
I would kill you. I'm just going to add D6 to the roll. Oh shit.
Quite happy I'm behind this.
I'm going to take it. You know what, Tom? You know what, Tom? I've done 2 rolls. The second one is a bogus roll, but I'm inclined to take it just because I feel you've had such bad luck on this.
I don't believe these dice at all.
It is real. I can see what he's seeing, and it's all been real. What is going on?
I just want to just check something real quick. Okay, it's fine. All right, dude. So I'm gonna go with the first roll because that is actually what happened. Blue has verified it. It's now you get an additional 6 points of damage from the burning. You basically kind of jumped the wrong way into the stream, and you took it at full force. So that's 8 plus that's 14 points of damage minus your toughness minus armor, and then that'll leave you with whatever wounds you're on after that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Not necessarily, because if you're on a sudden death, it doesn't mean you're automatically dead. But let's see.
Well, I'm on.
You'll be on. What's your toughness and strength? What's your toughness and armor?
My toughness. Where does it hit me?
On your chest.
So that's 1 point of armor.
Leather armor will be at full force because leather is very effective against acid, whereas metal is not. So you can treat your leather armor as full point of armor.
So that's -5.
-5. You're -5 critical.
No. So that's
-5 to the roll.
Yeah.
So that's 9 points of damage left.
So I'm on -2.
Yeah, okay. -2, you may not die, man. So don't throw the fate points to Hungry Sad Neil yet. You're on -2. So basically, you all of you see Ratty, and it's just so unlucky that he sees this thing, it fires off. This thing's blind, just blind shooting. The spray arc comes this direction, and Ratty, as opposed to like diving to this side towards Dell, he just chooses the wrong way to go and just dives to the side and just gets completely coated from like chest all across his chest and his sides by the acid spray. Is your robe magical?
Don't think so, no.
All right, it starts eating its way through the chest area, the sides of the robe, and it goes down to your leather armor. Your leather armor is not as affected by it, but the robe is definitely damaged as well. Can we please roll? Your ferrets are going to dive out the way, because I'm going to be nice about that. Your ferrets actually aren't even on you right now. They're sort of by you. The ferrets scampered out the way, so they're not affected. But you see Tom go down, and he hits the deck hard, and this thing just like smashes against him, and he doesn't look good. So you both, Clim, and you don't see that, but you can hear Tom scream. You can hear Ratty scream as you hear like this, and you see the spray, and clearly he's been hit very hard against it.
Blue, we gotta kill this thing.
Yeah.
Right, so that was intense. Okay, new round. Dell, it's your go.
Oh my god. Okay. I'm thinking. Can I just ask what? Can I tell by like in the room that we're in how we're gonna get out of here, even when we defeat this thing?
You actually look around, and as you do so, you sort of see the swirling nature of the water next to you, and you realise there's a current, and it's sort of going up and
I'm
down.
wondering if the only way out is going down that freaking whirlpool. If we could just bounce.
there is a giant, what is it? A giant, very, very pissed off beetle in between us and getting Ratty out, though.
Yeah, but I'm right next to it.
Yeah.
You're just more curious about how do I fashion a snorkel for my dog, is what you're thinking.
I'll be fine.
How's the dog going to be okay?
The minute you said the whirlpool, I was like, that's gotta be okay. No, I'm not gonna.
Scooby-Doo with a fucking like scuba mask on.
So I have agility and I have scale and climb.
Yeah.
Can I try and climb on this thing like Quint was trying to do?
Yeah, you can totally try and climb up it and start shooting it. Yeah, you can totally, do
I want to just go for the head.
Yeah,
all right,
so what? Beetle train.
Yeah, all aboard the beetle train. Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, so what do I need to roll for, or how do I do that?
So you're going to roll initiative.
Okay, it's 16. Oh, Clem, can you roll for me?
Yep, no problem. Let's have a look. It's got both of them, and please
Excuse me,
screw up.
Where's the dice roll? These two. 72. Scale sheer surface will give... You got acrobatics as well?
I do.
I'm going to say with scale sheer surface, acrobatics, and your ridiculously high initiative, you can do that. So basically, what you do is you go for the wounded leg, you jump on it, and then you sort of do a front flip up onto another piece of armor, and then basically now you're standing on top of the. You're basically beetle surfing right now, and you're standing on top of the damn thing like this. No, oh that's cool. You're not you're better than that, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're basically there on top of this thing now. That's a whole action. It's thrashing around a bit. You also, from your vantage point, now see directly where Tom is. Tom's lying still. His sort of cloak is smoking, and he's lying very still. But he appears to be alive. He's pretty fucked. That is your go. Does the doggo want to do anything or not?
Hey, can I? Is it? I was gonna say, is it safe? What the answer is? No. If there's a way the boyo can go get Ratty or try
you can try that.
Being dragged by the dog.
You can try that. Why don't you?
He's got a soft mouth.
Why don't you make a leadership test?
What a humiliating exit to this combat.
I think it's fucking great, Tom.
Do you want to?
So your alternatives are being dragged by a dog or slowly melting into a puddle.
Yeah, I mean a lot of the rocks.
I'm mainly thinking of getting him out of the acid.
Yeah,
I'm with the dog option here, actually.
I'm pretty sure, Tom, that this isn't up to you anymore because you're basically a smart player of acid goo. So yeah, if you want to do a leadership role plus, I think 10, I think we said, for commanding your dog with something that's more complicated than just heal. Anything more complicated than attack and heal, you've got to make a leadership test to convey the message.
All right, so the total would be 42.
Okay.
As it involves you, Tom, do you want to roll these?
No. No, not after the rolls they just made a minute ago.
88.
No.
Okay, cool. So the dog sort of starts going, and she goes, go get ready. And you just do that, and it stops, and then looks at you, cocks its head. And then it goes again, then goes backwards, and then goes forwards again, and it's just a bit confused. And it's and then it goes forwards again, and goes back again, and it just sits there with its tail wagging furiously, but it doesn't really understand what you're trying to do. So it's just sort of looking at you.
I tried.
Yeah,
Worth a shot.
Do you shout that out loud? I tried.
Yeah.
Oh, melting wizard, we tried, sir.
We tried. Good luck. Okay, cool. All right, that's your go, but you're now on top of it. Next up is Clim. Hey, Clim, what's up, dude?
Right, okay. If she's on the head of it, I suppose there's still a back there to be leapt onto.
Back in the middle of it,
I'm gonna get a bit stabby, sir.
Let's get stabby, sir. So,
Yay, pick it up, Clem.
Initiative roll plus 20. I'm going to say, do you have any other skills that you can use? Acrobatics.
I want to actually land on it.
Yeah, to actually land where you want to land on it.
Okay, cool. Let's have a look here. The street fighting doesn't count. Let's have a look here. Acting, no. Apart from dance, that's about it. Not really.
Okay. You can moonwalk on the back of it if you want, or pirouette.
That'd be so cool. I think we're a little bit more serious here, though.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so yes, you can go for your leap. So it's initiative plus 20, we say, because you're the height and you're right next to it, basically. Just be a fool of a rat. 68. That should make it. No. Yeah, 59. Yeah, that's totally gonna make it. Yeah. So you sort of leap towards it. Is there anything do you do a leaping charge? Do you say anything?
Yeah. It's we've got to try and push this as much as possible and make it cool at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, leaping. Leaping onto there for the lady.
For the lady, cool, nice. Very on brand, sir. Okay, so I can't balance you on these fucking. This is a stupid object. No, alright, fuck it. You're both on this thing. We know that. It's a stupid model unplayable. All right, so you're both on top. You're sort of the back. She's at the front. Do you have a second attack? I'm going to say you can make an attack. I think you can make an attack. I think that's fair.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So you find actually a place where the armor separates, where the joints are. They're not joints. They're sort of not the spine because it's an invertebrate. But you know what I mean. There's a bit where the chitinous armor is on the top of it. Because it's the least likely place for it to be attacked. You find.
I'm going to give that a tickle with my sword, sir.
I think you should give it a tickle with your sword.
Yay!
So it's a weapon skill roll, and it's moving around a lot, so there's no bonuses. 66. Is that going to do it?
I've got a weapon skill of 51, so that's not going to do it.
Right. Okay. So basically, this thing's bouncing around like a fucking rodeo beetle, and it's throwing you around so much you can't get a good purchase. When you do try and attack it, you sort of knock against the chitinous armor. You don't quite get purchase. You're just trying to hang on. So unfortunately, you don't really do any damage to it. Okay, this beetle has now got both of you on it. It's going to try and buck both of you off its back, which is going to take all of its actions really. So it's going to be a strength test. It is a failure. Okay, it fails. So it starts bucking around. Both of you, because of the chitinous plates on its back, you get a really useful handhold, and both of you basically riding this thing like a sandworm and just holding on to it as it's bucking around, but you're in no real danger of being thrown off. Del, it is a new round. It is your go. You're sort of very close to the back of its head. There is a soft part where the armor doesn't exist at the back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aim an arrow directly into that.
Hasta la vista, beetle.
Legolas. this shit.
Legolas on the cave troll.
It's literally yes.
I mean, Peter Jackson's gonna sue.
I was thinking more like the Oliphant. I was thinking more like the Oliphant that he takes down in Return of the King.
Sorry.
That one, he's
I was totally with you, Blue. Yep.
All right, Blue, make it happen. Or somebody make it happen for Blue, and don't get a critical failure.
Big money, big money, big money.
Big money, big money, big money. 52. It's a hit. I'm assuming.
It's a hit.
Yep, it's a hit. So this is D6 damage, but you have bypassed its armor. It's a soft, fleshy part, and you get +1. So it's effective strength of 3.
And that's including the +1 I get for the quiver, right?
That's 4. That's 7 points of damage, and it's just a straight taking its toughness off. This thing is really fucked, by the way. This thing is now starting to move sluggishly. Its left leg is completely collapsed. It's completely useless. It's bleeding from many different parts where you've hit it. And it has taken, it is down to probably a third of its wounds, just in mechanically speaking. Like it's under a third. It's almost like it's basically near death. You know, a good hit will probably kill it. Especially now that you've found places where it doesn't have armor. So yeah, you've taken down quite substantially. That's good. So that was your round over. Tom, one thing I forgot to mention, mate, you have luck. And I didn't point it out. I should have done that. I feel bad about that. But so what I'm going to do, to be fair, is say you can reduce the damage that you've received by 1 because you've got luck to use, which will take you from a -2 to a -1. Now it's kind of your responsibility, but at the same time, I get it. I should have mentioned.
But I'm bad at remembering that luck I can use to minus.
Yeah, you can. So
because I could have avoided that critical failure. But I need to remember that you can do that. I always just think of it as something to add to scores.
No,
not take
it works
away.
both ways. You can use it against rolls as well as for rolls, etc. So that's fine. So you're on a -1, which is nowhere near as bad as a -2. So I'm not even going to make you roll on sudden death critical table because.
Can I ask though? Is my stuff all burning? Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Am I unconscious?
No, you're not. But it's like being hit very hard by something. Like imagine you just got literally knocked down by a wave. But the wave is now eating your clothes.
The wave is eating me.
The wave is basically eating you.
So
luckily, it was on your chest, not your head. Oh, you mean because the robe is just being destroyed? Yep, you can.
Well, it seems to me. I mean, is it just gone or?
No, it's being like the chest part. So the two left and right of your chest is now being eaten away really fast. So if you have little hidden pockets and things.
Do you mean the robe or do you mean
the robe?
Okay, so I'm gonna get out of my robe. I'm gonna have to abandon. R.I.P. the purple robe.
Yeah, man. Although, where are your ingredients, sir?
I'm gonna have to. I yell to. I believe it's Spidge who is the ingredient master.
Yeah.
Spidge is one of my favorites.
Save everything you can, boys.
Yeah, exactly that.
Spidge and Noodle line up next to each other and start doing a chain to take the ingredients out of the pockets and throw them out from the acid pool. All right. So Spidge and Mr. So you throw the robe and they start doing that.
More difficult by the fact that I'm literally struggling out of the robe as.
And it's kind of melting to you a little bit as well, eh? And also around you, all the rocks are now sizzling.
I don't want robe glued to me. That's gross.
No, it's becoming like a woodland mess. Do you know what I mean? It's just like becoming just a mess of stuff.
Right.
Also, the rocks around you are melting. I mean, this thing is it's starting to melt, but a lot. Like it was a heavy.
But actually, should I not maybe try and roll out of the robe and away from that area?
Because you remember what happened above you? Well, it's kind of happening again, man. So yeah, it's starting to really it's going to melt the ground basically all around here.
Okay, Tom, have you considered trying to make a break for the water? Because if you can at least dilute it.
Yeah, imagine a rolling move where I'm literally like rolling out of the robe and along the floor. That's what I'm going to attempt.
You do realise there's acid on the floor around you. So you're going to roll through acid.
Well,
You're
I
better
know,
off
but
jumping over the acid, I would say, as opposed to rolling through a lake of acid. I'm just...
is it like literally pooling? I thought it was just like a thin layer.
It's
No.
a thin layer that's hit the whole ground, but the whole ground is sizzling and melting. So
Okay,
you're
yeah,
gonna
that's
have, it's going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you in the same way that the blast did. It's still going to hurt to go through it.
Oh,
It's like look, it's like a little ring of acid around you. Do you know what I mean? It's just melting everything.
Tom.
How quickly can I, Neil?
Yeah.
How quickly can I get power from Noodle?
Instantly. It's a very quick. It's within a couple of seconds. Yeah.
Okay, so as I'm lying there and Spidge, they're all like trying to get ingredients out of my pocket.
Save the piano! They
hold
wheel a
out-
little grand
I hold
piano
out a
out of your
hand.
thing.
I hold out a hand to Noodle and I go, juice me.
Juice.
And Noodle sort of does the equivalent of like basically like a little ferret fist bump
Yeah.
into my hand. How many magic points do I get back? Is it a roll?
Yeah, it's usually... We have to be clear about this in the future, man, because usually it's like we have to establish how much you charge her with.
I mean, she's fully charged.
She's fully charged.
Because-
Okay. So let's say I don't know how many you put in her, and I can't remember her capacity. So let's say to be fair, 2d6 magic points she has stored in her at the moment. I think that's fair because we don't.
I mean,
know.
that's more than my capacity is 8. So
Yeah, but you're going to take the whole hit. So the deal with her is you can't siphon off little bits. You have to take the full charge.
okay.
So you've
all
got
right,
over
I'm gonna roll.
capacity, which also has some interesting side effects. That's 8 points. What's your
8.
maximum?
So that takes me back up to my maximum
Oh,
of
cool. 9.
8. I think my maximum is. Yeah, my maximum is 8.
Okay. All right. So can you please make a willpower test? Because you're on 9 right now. You had 1 stored in there still, sir. So you're slightly over capacity. So please make a willpower test.
Oh my god! I didn't realize that would happen.
Well, this has never happened to you before. This is the first time. It's been a brutal
okay.
episode for Ratty, isn't it, man? It's not all fun and games now, is it?
I just wanted to try and fly, and
Yeah, that's cool. I know what you're doing. I think it's really smart as well. Yeah.
yeah. Well, my willpower is not great.
What's your willpower?
37.
You've got luck. Oh shit!
Neil, come on, these dice are killing me.
Oh wow. Okay.
Literally.
That is
the odds of this happening
worst. It's so statistically
is
low.
ridiculous.
That is the worst roll you can get in a game of Warhammer. It's like literally the worst roll.
We're a statistical anomaly.
Statistically, you're a vagabond. Is what it
statistically
is. You're a vagabond, man.
impossible. We're rolling continually in a 5% area.
So folks at home, this may sound ludicrous, but the Vagabonds have been around before the podcast. We actually did this kind of like a similar group to this. In fact, Ratty was a part of that for about 4 years before we started doing the podcast, the sort of Twitch cast thing. And even in real life, with other dice, some of which were brought by the players themselves, they would statistically roll high numbers of critical successes and also failures per game. I shit you not. This is not a new thing, but it is a bit bizarre. Okay, that is a critical failure, sir.
I'm going
It's
to
the
have to
worst.
use luck then to...
You use luck to turn it into just a failure. I would absolutely recommend you do that because otherwise you're going to have a real problem. So you use luck.
I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Yeah, I was basically your head was gonna sort of pop a little bit. So it wouldn't kill you necessarily, but it would damage you, which could kill you. So your luck holds for the day, and you turn it into a failure. So basically, what it means is that the juice is wasted. I'm gonna say so. Let's minus 1d6 of this. You're gonna lose. So you still might have enough for the spell, but you haven't got the full amount of power because it went bzzz and just literally kind of buzzed out of you. So roll a d6, please, and that's how many magic points you'll lose from your total. Temporarily, obviously. Yeah. 5. So you've gone down to 4 magic points now. Okay? That's how many you managed to squeeze out of the ferret.
Yeah.
So you got overloaded and it
Okay.
It winked
Ferret
out.
squeezer.
Yeah, ferret squeezer.
I burped. and I did a little lightning burp.
You did a lightning bolt. Okay, cool. So that is. I think you can still take the action of because the casting is pretty fast. So what is it you want to do again?
I'm casting Blight of Amar, which costs 3 magic points. Thank fuck you didn't roll. So basically, I get a little piece of thistle down.
Yeah.
And I hold it in my palm and I slam it downwards.
Yeah.
And it kind of repels me like almost like a rubber ball into the air.
Okay, wicked.
I think I got to roll to see which direction it repels me into.
D12.
Yeah.
It's a D12
Joy of joys.
And then
Let's see.
2d4 yards you float. That's the direction you float in, and then you roll for
Yeah.
D6 to help see how.
Where's the D12?
D12 is here. That's a D12.
Oh yeah, that
and
one.
And then D4s afterwards for how far you go.
The main thing is, I mean, I might float right into the mouth of the queen beetle.
God, I hope so. That could just be a perfect ending to this. All right, so you are facing forwards. That's your 1 o'clock, your 12 o'clock. 12. You're going forwards. Okay, excellent. So you're going forwards this direction. 2d4 yards. I will have to guesstimate it. But anything over, let's say, 4 yards in total, you're basically going to be right next to the beetle. So roll 2d4. The good thing is it's still blinded, apparently. So let's find out. So that's a d4, so 2d4 actually.
I'll just roll this one twice.
Yep. That is a 3.
3.
If you get over 4, oh yeah, okay. So you basically you get up, you're floating. What's the first thing you say as you start floating? Because this has been a success at this point.
I'm not saying anything because I just.
You want to say, fuck, you take that, you beetle bastard, and then you start slowly floating towards it. You start swimming in the air the opposite direction, like desperately trying to get out of the way of this thing. And this thing stops and it sort of hears you. It can't see you, but it can sort of like hear you a little bit. Like it's sort of vaguely aware of whatever's coming. Not that you're coming towards it necessarily, but it's sort of more aware of something's over here. But it's also very preoccupied with 2 things on its back it's trying to buck off. So you are floating towards it, but you may not weirdly be in as much danger as these 2 are. That's your go, dude. That's everything you can do. And take your magic points down, obviously.
I took them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't taken them.
It is the beetle's go again. It's going to try and buck the 2 of you off. I will do it individually because I think that's fair. So it's an individual strength test versus both of you. That is a critical failure. So okay, I'm just going to say it completely fails. It is also it starts trying to buck both of you off. I actually just rolled the worst roll in the game as well. I just rolled a critical failure of 100.
He did.
Literally just roll that. So this thing starts like careening around, smashing around. You know what? Let's see what happens. And it starts bucking around to the point where both of you get a free shot. That actually it starts like slamming into walls and it smashes its head and stuns itself briefly. And you 2 can now take a free shot each, and it's an automatic hit. So it's going to be you automatically can stab at it and kill it.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Righto.
So
shall
Clim
I
going
roll for
first?
blue first?
Yeah. So if Blue wants to fire another arrow, she can. Blue?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a roll. That was turning the dice over, mate. I saw that.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so this is for Blue. That's 5. So that's 10 points of damage. Excellent. And do yours, Clim, as well. And if it's over a certain amount, basically, you would have killed it. 3, 5, that's 6. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, you do manage to kill it. The killing blow can come from Blue, I suspect, because she had the larger points. So, Clim, you stab deep into this like open area on its back. You pull your sword out and rip quite a chunk of it out. And Blue, its head comes back up. It starts screaming like that, like that. However, beetle scream. And you pull back your bow and walk me through how you kill this thing. So you're going to kill it in one shot.
I just want to I just imagine like it doesn't have a trunk I can skate down, but yeah, I just obliterate its entire.
It's got a claw you can skate down afterwards.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
Skate down its little.
Fuck you, Jackson. Let's do it. All right.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So talk me through this shot and the arrow, because we all love to hear about that stuff. Yeah. So you're right here above its back, the back of the head.
Yeah, pull back, and just fire.
It just goes straight through the neck into and sort of pops out the mouth and just literally just obliterates its brain. And it just starts stumbling and it starts falling forwards, and you just go whee and slide down the front of its claw and do a combat roll for an unnecessary combat roll. And in the combat roll, you also turn 180 degrees, so you're now facing in one of those cool like Black Widow stances, the unnecessary Black Widow stance.
Superhero landing.
Yeah, you end up in an unnecessary Black Widow. And Clem, you can also now jump off it quite easily as well because it's critical. This thing starts thrashing around and it just collapses back onto the pile of crap. And its little legs are in the air, and it just curls up, and you just hear this. And actually, Clem, what you hear is, what a world, what a world, what a world. As it just collapses back in its pile. And it is dead ski, folks. You had done it. Tom is still gently floating towards the corpse.
Just floating around. I got this. Don't worry.
You saw it. Actually, you get close to it, and you start like pinballing very gently off its legs, like ding, 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 like ding, like that. And it takes you a while. And eventually, you cut the spell off, and you just go punk onto its chest. And then you fall onto you just fall into its chest and just like sit there.
Wizard, I suggest we get you to the pool of water and wash off the rest of that acid.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Your bathrobe is destroyed. The purple bathrobe is no more.
You've got a backup.
You've got a backup robe though, haven't you? Which is from the other room.
Well, I keep all my stuff in it as a bag, basically. So it's a green robe.
That's right. So you have a green robe.
But I'm determined
to find that purple robe again, aren't you?
I'm gonna have to find. Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I spy a new quest line.
Reclaim a purple robe. I'm just gonna go back to that inn and steal another one.
And quest completed. The most successful quest yet. Cool. Okay, folks. We're gonna go into narrative because I think that's going to wrap things up pretty quickly soon. You gather yourselves up. This thing is dead. It was a monstrous creature to fight, but luckily you all pretty much came through unscathed apart from poor Tom. But Clem also got damaged. You're facing this. The only way out that Dell tells you she's discovered is probably through this water pool. It feels like it's got suction. It feels. Oh, by the way, this area here completely melts down, and actually what you see is actually something that's probably quite useful. It's an underground river stream. And it's quite wide, and there's a gap beneath the tunnel that it goes into and the water line, so you could probably keep your heads above water. And that's what apparently is feeding into this thing here. But you no longer need to jump down into this little hole, because you could probably land quite safely in the water below you in this very large stream. And hopefully it will carry you out of the cavern systems. Just FYI. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, cool. Just a very quick way out of here, basically, folks. So that is something you can totally do, and we don't have to really roleplay much of that. You can gather your strength and then just basically jump down into this pool like this, and it will carry along with the current like that. None of you have swim, but I'm going to make some suppositions, and if you want to, you can fashion some sort of like basic flotation devices out of the crap and rags. That will just help you, like the bones that are around you. Somebody has the bright idea to.
I'm quite interested in this lantern thing. What about the rest of you?
I'll get to that in a second. So you basically got a whole bunch of big bones that are hollow, and one of you kind of works out, because you've seen like bones and like sticks float in water. You could probably make some kind of really rudimentary flotation thing for everybody, and wrap the rags around it, and sort of make like a weird life raft thing that you can hold on to each individually. So you start doing. Is
there anything else up in the tomb that we could use to?
You can't get back to the tomb.
Right. Okay.
This whole tunnel area is collapsed. It's too big to jump up. There's nothing to get purchased, and there's a big hole underneath where the other hole is, so you can't get back up there anymore. You do scrabble around. Do you want to make a search test as well as the lantern, or are you just going to go straight for the lantern?
I don't want to do a search test, as we could have a bit of time.
Okay.
What's that based on? Is that based on
initiative?
Initiative. Okay, cool. Grab those two.
Okay. So, quick initiative test, and this will apply to the whole party.
Damn that thing again. Right, okay, give me a second here. Yep, on top. Right, there we are. Got them both. And
38, that's a pass. Okay, so you find an assortment of rags. You find like a small purse with very old money in it. You're not sure how much.
Okay.
And you find some other bits and pieces that aren't really that useful, but you find a small purse with money in it, and you get the lantern, and you're picking it up, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Cool. You pick up the lantern. It looks like a really beautiful lantern. It's made of brass. It's like kind of goldy brass color. You pick it up, and the handle falls off, and then the beak falls off, and it smashes on the ground in front of you. And now the light source is pretty much gone as well. What were you expecting? A fucking genie in the bottle? Come on, mate. This is low fantasy.
Expecting something else I could sell now.
Right. You wanted a fucking genie, not on my watch, Buster. All right. So this actually quite crap lantern just falls apart. It's basically the Beatles were using it as a kind of esoteric light source, which is kind of cool. All right, folks. Is there anything else you want to do? Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you're going to be sort of like, half jumping, half lowering yourself into this underground pool and letting it drag you out through the cave systems. And
I'm going to keep the parts of the lantern.
Okay, just in case there's a genie hiding out in one of the corners of the spout.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you put the lantern into your sack pack, I guess. Yeah, you're pretty fucked, Tom. So do you have any healing stuff with you at all?
I do actually. Well, I can use. Oh no, I can't even cast petty fucking healing.
Well, you could all rest if you wanted to. It's up to you. I mean, it doesn't seem to be any other dangers.
I think that might be
considering Quint took a bit of a pasting too. It might be a good idea.
I got flat raid.
You got smashed. All right.
What were your hit points down to?
He's down to 1.
Quint?
I was down to 1. I was from 8. I got flan down to 1.
Yeah.
In fact, Del,
didn't take any.
you didn't take any, man.
I'll get you, my pretty. You and your little doggo too.
Can I tend to wounds?
And you considered abandoning us. That's the bit I really enjoyed.
Only for a moment. Yeah, your ability, your natural skill at healing, Blue, is just like prodding it, going, "Does that hurt? Does that hurt? Does that?"
Well,
hurt?
here's the thing for Clem. I'm curious. I have animal care.
Oh my god, you have animal care. Oh my god, you have animal care. Of course you do. I will allow that. Why not? Fuck it.
So yeah, if he's like a rat boy, I can tend to him.
You can do that. Okay, so
sorry, Ratigan.
So Clem, Del approaches you and she has this really weird tone. It's kind of patronizing and a bit like, "Oh, you okay?" Whittle Watty. It's a bit like that.
That's
You're like,
not me.
"Yeah, are you okay? Did you Whittle Watty had you?"
I have animal care too, so we could both.
But you don't want to. You make a point of not doing it.
No, I'm gently steaming in a corner.
All right. So I'm going to say that you can recover a few health points each with enough care. You rest. You manage to have some dried food, Clem, because you always take. You're pretty prepared as a rat. So you got some dried. You share, and it's pretty meager, but it's something. You have these two have water bottles on them anyway. So,
we've got a whole load of beetle.
And I've got a whole load of beetles, so you can cook some beetle meat. It's good eating, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got a whole load of beetle.
I don't care.
Oh my god, you got a massive amount of beetle right here. I totally forgot. Yes, you can. And actually, the carapace. There's bits of carapace shells lying all over the place. So there's like bits of shell here and here and here. Now on the beetle, it's not very big, but for a human-sized creature, it's like a leg of chitinous plating.
Yeah, I don't have any skills to fashion armor though.
You don't, but you can hire people, can't you?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
With my pack rat head on.
With your pack rat head on, yeah.
A rat in beetle armor.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
I like that.
All right.
I'll take any reduction to damage I can get. Thank you very much. I don't care what I look like.
Yeah, man. You look fucking great. You'll be like Green Beetle, like a new superhero. Yeah. All right, so you gather up into this like large unending sack, like all these sort of plates, and you start cutting away at other pieces, and you take probably as much as you can appraise that might make a suit of armor or something like that.
Okay.
Or something. It'll make something out of it. So you put enough into your sack. The sack's pretty full now, so you can't pick anything else up in your sack. You'd have to wear it on your person, or you completely at capacity with your sack now. Just FYI. Okay. Del, is there anything you want to do after healing, helping heal the boys and eating food with them? We've got a fire going right now. Anything else that you
I imagine Fleck has eaten his fill of beetle.
Oh, he's been munching it. He's like eating more than his fill. He's been a greedy little pup. Yeah, man, he's happy.
Yeah. No.
In fact, he keeps
Little
going back
war dog.
He keeps playing with the beetle, so he keeps jumping up and running. He does this thing when he runs up, because it's like at a 45-degree angle. He runs up and then leaps, and then just jumps over the pile of stuff, lands, and then races around, does the whole thing again. He just does that for like a quiet hour. He's really happy.
So can I just ask, Neil,
Yeah.
how many hit points can I get back?
You can get 3. Let's say I can get, I don't know, like 2 hit points back, everybody. I think that's fair for a night's sleep. And you
Just
guys
2?
got pretty, yeah, you got fucked up, dude. You're covered in acid.
All right, don't rub it in. I have taken a dip in the pool to get off the acid off
Which
me.
is why it's not going to affect you anymore. But I'm going to say, like, for a short rest, a 6-hour rest or something like that, in a cave, a cold cave,
Yeah.
with hitting hit by acid, blah blah blah. I think that's kind of legitimate, you know.
Magic points. Do I get any of those back?
You can get D4 magic points back, and let's say that this is a short rest, not a proper full rest. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
So a full rest, you need like a bed and proper
Yeah.
food and
That makes
stuff.
sense.
Yeah. So let's say D4 magic points back as well.
Okay.
Should we go try find one of those, like a bed?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm going to sort of take over narrative a little bit, if that's okay. to speed it up. Cool, nice one. So, are you essentially going with the plan of just like sort of like lowering yourself into this stream with these flotation things that you hope will work?
Yeah. Out of here.
All right. That's
Go.
what's that?
Let's go. That's
All
what I
right.
said.
Cool.
I want to get out.
All right. So, with your blessing, folks, I'm just going to tell you what happens, if that's okay. So you all sort of like lower yourself down one after the other. The strongest swimmer, or the people that think they're the strongest swimmer at the front, even though none of you can swim. And you'll lower yourself in with a certain amount of nervousness, but what choice do you have? And the second you hit the deck, luckily all of these bone flotation things that you've attached to your waists and to the dog work miraculously. And these are all like big animal bones that are hollow and stuff. And you start floating down, and it works really well. The cavern gets very tight, and occasionally you actually do go under the water briefly, and then your head pops back up again. It's quite scary, because you are literally going blind with no light source through underground caves. And after what seems like hours, could have been minutes, of this terrifying rapid ride, you actually start seeing light in the water. And gradually, bit by bit by bit, the light gets stronger and stronger until you realize that you're about to be exiting the waterfall. Indeed, you do so. And actually, you come down much further away from the waterfall where you started. And you actually come down... where's the map here? Can't really do that. Okay. So if the waterfall's here, you've actually travelled some way down the other river that it goes into and come out like a little side rocky area. So you sort of you circumnavigated the waterfall and gone into this area, which then leads you into the main river, which is actually quite shallow. So once you come up here, you find you can actually stand and wade your way out of it. As you do so, like counting your blessings on this amazing, bizarre experience you've had, you see that you're actually very close to La Maison Tell. Some of the monks have spotted you and start racing towards you. You also see a lot of the villagers have arrived and are actually standing in the sort of like the edges of the entrance to La Maison Tell. And you see before you that people are running around. There seems to be a lot of flurry of activity. Word has spread, and there's a lot of anxious-looking faces. You wander very slowly towards La Maison Tell, the gates of which this is kind of huge oval building with huge oval gates, in a compound surrounding the farming areas. And you see Jean-Claude, who starts walking towards you. Is it Jean-Michel? No, Jean-Michel, sorry. The head of La Maison Tell, who walks towards you all and goes, "Mes amis, you survived. I've heard about what happened. We are devastated for the loss of the Fugelhofen and for the good people and for the dwarves of the mine. You are true heroes, my friends. But first, you look like you need medical attention. Mon Dieu!" And he looks at Quint. He goes, "Mon Dieu, you've been burnt so badly. You look like a boiled egg shriveled up from the sun. My God, you must be in agony." And he just sort of like looks at him and starts looking around his face a little bit. He goes, "Please come with me. I shall give you medical attention and you shall have your food and we shall talk about plans. We've heard the worst and we must now prepare ourselves for what surely will be an apocalyptic assault by whomever is controlling these skeletons." And as he does so, he sort of like leads you forwards. His initiates come up to you and help you and sort of give you warm clothing and give you little snacks to eat as you walk towards La Maison Tell. And you can fall into conversation with him. So Tom, he knows Tom. Does he know Blue? Have you met him before, Blue? You
No,
haven't,
I don't
have
believe
you?
so.
You don't know who he
No.
is, right? So
I
he
have no
doesn't-
idea what's going on.
Yeah, you don't. So Jean-Michel falls into step next to you, Ratty. He goes, my friend, where is Herr Zimmerman and Corporal what is it? Ziggy Hauptmann, isn't it? Corporal Hauptmann and your friend Bondo. I do not see them amongst the villagers and they're not with you.
Well, I don't telling you that we've been through rather a lot in the last, week or so. It's been
No, it's been a
emotional.
few days.
It's been a lot.
Okay.
All right. And I just sort of point back in roughly the direction of the waterfall. All I'm saying is, don't go that way. Right? It's messy up there. There is many skellies. There are these nasty bird things. There are big acid belching beetles.
And two of your fingers.
And two of your fingers.
Yeah, I'm actually doing it with my hand.
Without the fingers.
Fingers, just
Yeah.
pointing. And we're like last time we met, I was a lot more complete.
Yeah. He nods sagely and goes, I can see that. He also goes, "Whoop," and like spits up a little bile and then swallows it again. Like, "Whoop," he just sees your fingers. He goes, well, with this condition, I am sorry to say that we have needed your services almost immediately. We will get you attended to and healed, but there is a matter of great urgency we must look to. I fear La Maison Tau will come under attack from this evil force at any moment, and we have need of your services again, mes amis. But first, come, rest, find your other friends if they survived the terrible attack on the walkway down by the undead birds, and we must make preparations for war. And with that, he sort of turns very swiftly and walks off. And you all imagine, like, this is like one of those cinematic moments where you're walking off towards this, like, barricaded countryside chapel. And so, like, it's like a big sort of circle of I used to draw it, but I can't find the actual right image. It's a big circle ringed fence which surrounds La Maison Tau, which looks like this. Looks like that, I think. It's like this. And that's the Maison Tau. The main gates are here. And there's other like farming areas and pigsties and little huts and things around here. And you're just basically walking towards it. The sun is on the horizon. It's a beautiful dusky evening. At any other time, it would be a beautiful experience walking these beautiful bright oranges and pinks fading into the horizon as you walk slowly and surely towards the gates of La Maison Tau. As you start crossing the actual gates themselves, all of you stop and turn. And the events of the last couple of weeks really hit home. Bondo, you have no idea whether he survived or not, whether he was one of the people picked up and killed by the birds. You don't know what happened to Ziggy still. There's no sign of him, and you fear the worst for him as well. In just a matter of weeks, you've gone from sort of carefree vagabonds into battle-hardened survivors. And now, apparently, from the hubbub in the courtyard and from what Jean-Michel has been saying to you, the worst is still yet to come. With a little bit of camaraderie that you have left, and seeking solace in the eyes of your compatriots, you all look to each other, sort of nod without saying any words, and turn slowly into La Maison Tau's chapel. And that, folks, with a beautiful sunset in the background like that, is where we're going to end it today. Which is
beautiful. That was like the ending of one of the Lord of the Rings films as well.
Right?
It was like
it was. We haven't done an ending like that. It's usually like a big cliffhanger moment.
I like that. It was like quiet but ominous.
You're right. I know.
Impending doom.
Impending doom. You're all going to die. Tom, you can say thank you for me not taking a fate point. Because really, dude, I probably should have taken a fate point off you today. But I was feeling
thank you, Neil.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But on the other hand, fuck those dice.
I know,
them dice.
right? All right, folks. It's a very quick...
Look at it this way. It was a bloody good show.
It was a great, cracking fucking show. It really was. Thank you so much. And thank you to the community for hanging out. Thank you for your listening and supporting. Thank you for your ears. Thank you to our Discord mods, and also to the Twitch mods as well. We're going to try and raid somebody in a second. But I just want to say a huge thank you to the Vagabonds. Thank you, Vagabonds, for kicking ass and taking names. Great stuff. And whose turn is it today? Who gets to go? Based on what happened.
I honestly think after the amount of almost being turned into a pool, it has to be Tom again.
I think it has to be Tom again. This is Tom's table.
I'm
Those
really looking
dice,
forward
Tom.
to saying
Those
goodbye
dice.
to
I will
this
put the
board
dice
today.
in the center of the table. I'm going to stack them.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
let's stack those
Let's stack
fuckers.
those fuckers, right? There we go. These are the dice of shame. They should
I'd
be
quite like
referred
to just fireball them right now.
All right, Tom. The board is yours.
Are they in
sir.
camera?
Yeah, they're in camera now. Do your worst.
All right.
Fuck you! Fuck you guys! This is beautiful. All right, folks, stick around. We're going to raid somebody, but thank you very much for hanging out. And we'll see you, if not in a couple of weeks' time, maybe in 3 weeks' time. There's a reason for that. I'll tell you next week. Thursday, we're going to do Resident Evil Village. We're going to try and do that at some point. We'll let you know. So that's Thursday, so please tune in and hang out with us. That'll be myself and Blue having fun and get up to shenanigans. All right, folks, take it easy. Thanks very much, Vagabonds. See you later.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.